Greetings, yes, it is me, Marcos from Bluezonecomms, and God, it's been a fat minute since the last time I was recording with you guys. Yeah, we're doing a discussion for Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I personally saw it twice, so...
Aren't you going to introduce who you're with?
I will. I'm just saying I saw the movie twice, goddamn. Deji, introduce yourself.
I'm Digimon11. You may remember me of such stuff as the Silver Screen Conference, almost every playthrough that isn't Sonic and the Black Knight and Portal, and much more.
All right, take it away, Terrence.
Ugh. Man, it's been like, 2 years since I haven't been on anything related to this channel?
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it's Terrence. I'm just an artist on Twitter, and I just do shit. I already saw this movie. My friend wants to go see it, so I will go see it with him again, because I definitely want to go see this movie again.
Cool. All right, Isao, you're next.
Okay, my name's Izo. I'm also an artist, I'm a streamer, and I'm probably gonna have to record Sonic CD again.
A great Sonic game.
No, I actually have a plan for that, don't worry.
Oh, God.
Ready when you are.
Well, we got one more person to
also...
introduce. It's Proton.
Yep. I'm Proton, also known as Gage. I play games and I draw. And you may remember me from the person who recorded the Mario Sunshine, Luigi's Mansion, and a bunch of other things that haven't been made yet.
Hey, man, Sunshine's
All right, so for those who aren't familiar with how we do podcasts around here, just like our Silver Screen Conference videos, we give our 2-sentence reviews of the movies, then a short summary, and then the score. So, Marco, since you haven't been here in a while, why don't you give your initial thoughts of the film?
Like just overall general thoughts. Great.
Yes,
It's a fun movie. I probably am going to be the odd man out saying this, but I actually prefer Sonic 2 over 3. Not that 3 is bad or anything. It's good. It's just you can definitely tell it had some cuts along the way in terms of the editing process, which, the director didn't say they had to make a few cuts. The movie should have been 20 minutes longer, but if it was just a little bit longer, maybe cut out some of the comedic scenes, I think it would have been the best one, me personally. But yeah, generally a good, fun, fun movie.
All right, Terrence, you go.
So I kind of agree with Marcos in the sense that this movie should have been longer. I think it was, what was the runtime? Was it?
An hour and 40 minutes?
It was an hour 40. I think it should have been a 2-hour movie. Like
100%.
Maybe 220.
Yeah.
But
It was 1 hour 49 minutes.
Okay, so I think maybe 2 hours and 10 minutes would be good enough. But honestly, the one thing I do like about this movie is that it is no nonsense. There really isn't any filler in this movie.
Yeah.
It pretty much from start to finish, it is Sonic Adventure 2, and that's honestly the most I could ask for it. Because as much as I love the Sonic 2 movie, and the wedding scene is kind of funny, it goes on way too fucking long.
Yeah.
Like, that just dampers the whole movie for me, because it's like funny for the first 5 minutes, and then it's like, all right, let's gonna move on. There's nothing about that in this movie. This movie is balls to the walls from start to finish. There's really no downtime. You could say that there's no room to breathe, but I think that's fine for this kind of movie.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happened to 2 sentences?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
It's alright.
One period and then another period. So there were two.
See me after class. That's called a roll-on sentence. Ironically, Terrence is a teacher out of all of us.
I went to
An
college.
art teacher, not an English teacher.
Yeah.
I went to college.
Anyway, Issa, you go next.
It's about time. We finally got a Sonic movie.
Wow.
That's funny.
Oh man.
To be fair, we had that with 2.
What's my grade?
Oh
Okay, Gage, next.
I really like the movie. It's my favorite of the trilogy, and I like it more than the game it's based on.
Jesus. That's a hot take right there.
Let's not get too crazy here.
Yeah, careful. If somehow the Twitter Sonic people find us out, they will socially lynch you.
Okay. There needs to be clarification here. Compared to the rest of us, Gage isn't really big into Sonic. He is a fan, but he's.
I'm a pretty casual fan. There.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, makes sense.
I mean-
Makes sense.
My favorite Sonic game is Mania, by the way.
All right, guy.
Yeah,
Respect,
that's
respect.
that's a safe bet for people who aren't familiar with Sonic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll probably get into it a little later, but SA2, that's kind of a don't like / below average game to me.
All right, so now it's my fault. This is easily the best of the 3 movies, and probably the only time where they weren't afraid of the source material, echoing what Esau said.
Yeah.
But it still has some stench of the previous 2 films that holds it back. And honestly, this might sound insane. I think that IGN review might be on the money.
What did they review it as?
I did not
6
see
out
that.
of 10.
No, it is
Because
definitely-
it was
Absolutely not.
It was reviewed by someone who hated the first 2 movies, but actually liked this one.
If you were gonna say you agree with IGN, don't lead with 6 out of 10.
No, this movie is not. This movie is at least the lowest score I can give it is an 8.
It's an 8.
Honestly,
yeah.
I'd probably give it a 9.
Lowest I can give it is
save our
7.
scores for the end.
That's
All right.
We'll say.
Like, honestly, the more I'm thinking about it, and that's why I want to rewatch this movie, I really can't think of, like, actual problems that I had. It's just nitpicks. Like, I think this movie was just, from beginning to end, I think this movie is just solid.
I do. But let's. Okay, how was everyone's theater experience? Because I went to the Thursday night showing.
Same.
But a friend of ours, Johnny, he ran into traffic, so we were a few minutes late into seeing it. We missed the shadow escape scene. Can someone please explain to me what happened? How he escaped?
He was sleeping and then he was not.
No, Gerald releases him.
Oh, I mean, I know
Yeah,
Joe releases
they-
this. Like, I didn't see the scene.
They don't
I
really
just saw,
show
like, when we
him
arrived at
releasing it. It was just
time.
like he just wakes up and beats the crap out
Yeah,
of guards
the-
and then he runs.
It
The
seemed-
computer...
That's
That's
exactly
literally
what,
how it
what
starts
we
off.
see. He just wakes up.
It
Yeah,
seems-
the computer that, like, I guess is sustaining his tube gets hacked. So it opens up, and then Shadow's, I guess, life systems go back online, beats all the security guards, and then escapes to Tokyo.
Yeah, because Prison Island in this is near Tokyo.
Yep.
And also gun soldiers show up, and it's just a. We basically see the Shadow of the Hedgehog intro.
Yeah, it is
with
literally
that.
ripped from the Shadow of the Hedgehog intro with him beating the soldiers up.
Yeah, literally.
But instead of the Black Arms aliens, it is swap it with the soldiers, which, yeah, you could say it's either being cheap, but I say that's really cool because it's also Jeff Fowler. So
I loved it.
Yeah.
I truly love how this movie has come full circle.
And like my theater experience was fine, but everyone else's, how was it?
Should be honest, like, because I watched the week after, despite it being kind of crowded, it wasn't really that noisy.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in a medium-sized, like, theater room. It wasn't too noisy. People did laugh a lot at some of the jokes.
That was kind of it for me, yeah.
See, for me, I was like in a big theater. Like Deji here, I went to go to the Thursday night showing. And just like him, believe it or not, I actually missed a few minutes because I was with my cousin, and the parking lot was just terrible. Like, literally, we barely found a spot, and then we had to go to get snacks, and he had to go to the bathroom, and so we missed the beginning of Shadow escaping. Like literally, as we got in, it was like literally him in Tokyo.
Um,
Uh,
I
and then when I watched it the second time, that's when I got to see the whole thing throughout.
yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
Yeah, my theater screen was very small. I don't know why. I don't think I've ever seen a theater screen that small. Which, you know, it was still.
To be fair, though, movie theater you went to, we won't say where it is for obvious reasons. That movie theater is kind of
Yeah.
I mean, I remember
cheap
going to
side.
see like the Lego movie there, and the screen was pretty big.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's possible they downsized.
were you? What type of cinema was it? Laser, Dolby?
IMAX.
I think it was Dolby.
Oh yeah, Dolby. Like you had the reclining chairs where you can
Yes.
move around.
Yeah.
Yeah, those. are
Those get
usually
the smaller ones.
over
The
there.
IMAX ones don't have reclining chairs. Kind of suck.
Bro, we had fucking cup holders and like tables where you could put like snacks and everything like that. It was
Yeah.
like high art. It was
Yeah.
like high end.
Well, I do remember I actually missed like 2 bits from the movie too because I had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll go into spots.
I specifically didn't eat or drink so I wouldn't go to the bathroom. But I also this is the first time.
Oh, that's why he. For context, folks, he came to my
Yeah.
job
It-
because the movie theater was down the street.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, you want some food? You want some food? He's like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, no, I waited. But this was also the first time in a long time where I pulled up to this movie with a group. I pulled up with like 10 people.
Damn.
It was cool. Yeah, we had a whole gang going. It was nice.
You guys talking about being late for the movie, and I'm here like I wish I was late to the movie. The trailer sucked,
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
I don't even remember the trailers.
and I brought up with friends. For some reason, they played the Stitch teaser twice.
Yeah.
Huh.
I
See, that's the
I've never seen that
that's the
before
thing.
in any movie ever.
That's the thing that the internet just ruined. Like trailers at movie theaters literally are pointless because
Yeah.
oh cool, I saw this on Twitter or on YouTube like a week ago. This means nothing. Like
yeah.
I mean,
I'm talking like they play a trailer. No, they play a teaser of Stitch, and then they play another trailer, and then they play the Stitch teaser again. I've never seen that before in any other movie.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real. Not everyone goes and watches a trailer on the internet. Like,
Yeah, there are
remember when
elderly
we went
people
to go
out there,
see
yeah.
Spider-Verse. And we saw that one trailer about the dog being separated from his owner, and that trailer basically spoils the ending.
what movie is this?
Fuck it. Yeah, I'll look it up. Or what about that one British movie where a character said, "Where'd you want to drive? Mario Kart?" And we just looked at each other, like, ugh.
Was that? I think that's Paddington.
No, that was not
Not
Paddington.
Paddington.
Yeah.
But all right, time for the plot summary.
It's Sonic Adventure 2. That's the
It's
plot.
Sonic. It's.
I mean, just get
I'll say.
yeah,
go on.
just give us like a quick rundown, like what happens here and what scene, just so we can.
Essentially, it's like Terrence said earlier. Pretty much, Shadow escapes. From Gerald Robotnik, the grandfather of Eggman. So Gunn, goes to Team Sonic. Basically asks him, hey, we need your help to meet with, Commander Walters.
We're also reminded of Longclaw for the third time.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I don't think she saw.
She was the
I
thing.
don't mind that. It's the movie has established that Longclaw is pretty much Sonic's mother parental figure.
Pretty
so,
much.
Obviously he would have some sort of very big sentimental attachment towards her.
Yeah. And like, he's the first movie's like, oh, she's like Obi-Wan Kenobi. No, I'm sorry, Sonic. She's Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically it. Though I had the thought of like, wait, like is like Tom pretending he's seeing like Sonic's cave for the first time?
Yeah.
They did move
I
his
noticed
stuff at
that
the end
too.
of the
Yeah.
first movie.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
maybe
you're
that's just
right.
me
They
reading it.
did.
Yeah, at the end
That's
of the
kinda
first
weird.
Sonic movie, they moved all the stuff into their house, and he's like, "Oh,
Well-
this is where you lived." And I'm like, "Wait, your stuff is still what?"
Well, I mean, this movie also does retcon the events of the second movie, because I rewatched the second movie the day before I went to go see it in theaters, the third movie, and I'm rewatching it, and at the end of the wedding scene, not Commander Abraham Tower, because that's pretty much who he's supposed to be.
Commander Walters.
I know. I don't remember his name, but he states that because of the events of Sonic 1 between Eggman and Sonic, Gun was established, but this movie clearly states that Gun has been established for over 50 years.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? There is one thing I do want to get into, but we'll save it for later in the plot summary because it's connected to him.
So it's kind of a retcon. At the same time, I really don't give a shit, but it's just kind of a weird
Government cover-up.
It's just kind of a weird thing that it's like, oh, you established that in the second movie, that Gun was made because of the first movie, but no, they've been a thing for 50 years, as this movie addresses.
Actually, he could have lied to Sonic just to say so, because there's always people defending those retcons. There's always people defend.
Can I just say I'm grateful they did not pull an Olive Garden joke with him
Thank
again.
God.
Because it was funny in the first movie, and then when he comes back in 2 and Tom says Olive Garden guy, that was funny, and then they overused the joke.
Yeah.
You bring that up. Before we started recording, I reminded myself, did anybody floss in this movie?
No, thank Christ.
But
No.
But yeah, and in that scene, like the Happy Earth Day, Tom basically sets up the theme of the movie that we'll probably get into more as we proceed. But it's about the choices. It's about the choices we make and how we proceed with them. Is basically
that's how you deal with loss. You see.
So
anyways, team.
I don't know. So I don't know if it was just me, but like the premise was that Sonic is in a rage with Tails and Knuckles. But I had the feeling that they were voiced very weirdly, like on purpose, because they're holograms. Like Tails and Knuckles aren't there. For a split second, Tails sounded so wonky to me. I almost thought like he was trying to sound fake or like from Sonic Heroes or something. Yeah. So that's when I knew that Tails was fake at that point.
Tails' voice was kind of a little bit different than usual, but I'm assuming
for that first segment, I have no problem after. Yeah.
We'll say during that that little party celebration, I did find it a little cute how the dogs tells Sonic he stole his humans.
The dog now talks in subtitles.
Yeah.
That was kind of a weird moment because that's like the first time that's ever been established, but it's like for the sake of comedy, I'm just like, okay, whatever. It's cute.
Well, let's say I mean the animals outnumber the humans now, so it's like we can now understand the animals more.
Yeah.
Also, before we get away from the scene, I gotta say, like, when I was watching, like, Sonic and the others go away on helicopter, I thought it was setting up that the humans were not really gonna take any part on this after this.
I mean, they
like,
kind
just wrote them off.
don't. Like,
no,
I mean, they do. I think we should continue with the progress. Yeah.
Sure.
So,
well, you know, I'll go on later, but go on.
Anyways, back to what we were saying earlier with basically Gun tells them about that, Shadow attacking Tokyo. Team Sonic goes in there, gets their asses beat.
So did anyone else feel like when Sonic said talk about low budget flights that kind of felt forced?
It was, but the fans in my theater were screaming.
But I overlooked it because
it's reference. He said the line. That's, That's literally what it is.
I felt like it could have been worded better because they do when Shadow meets them, he's like, what instead of doing the found you fake hedgehog, you're comparing yourself. They do the why do you look like me? No. You look like me, or something like that.
That was very good.
That sounded so weird coming from his mouth.
Oh, and one thing I wish people talked about, the song when Shadow is introduced to when the team meets him. It's a remix of Iron Man by Black Sabbath.
What?
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. It is. You didn't hear the dun,
I mean,
dun, dun, dun.
I mean, I could kind of hear it, but I didn't really think it was an actual remix of.
Honestly,
Yeah,
Deji, I wouldn't be able to tell that because Junkie apparently throws like 20 different subtle remixes of songs in this OST, because apparently City Escape was in the OST, which I did not hear.
I did not hear it, and I saw that movie
I
twice.
didn't hear it. No.
It's credited in the movie, so they used it.
Oh,
It's in the credits.
can't wait. Speaking of crediting, I can't wait till we get towards the end of the movie.
So Sonic and others
Alright,
meet
they get
Shadow.
their ass beat and then escape to meet up with Commander Walters, who then gives them
At
the exposition.
Fucking
At a Chow
Garden
Chow
Chuck E.
Garden
Cheese's,
restaurant.
which needs to be a thing.
Yeah, I found that whole part so
Oh,
adorable.
Yeah.
I'm kind of mixed because people really like Chow, and I kind of thought that we were going to have some actual Chow revealed, but I was like, hey, I guess this is basically how Sega sees Chow Garden. If you want to be technical,
We're never
I mean,
getting that
it's-
mobile game.
You know what?
We're never
Yeah,
getting that Chow mobile
So
game.
I can understand
what?
that because it kind of wouldn't make any sense if Chow were just magically in this world, but
Right, when
Sonic
Sonic is
is
there,
there.
it's like a
Multiverses.
secret, you know.
the multiverse exists.
no, I know, but it's
Sonic is like the
well,
only
actually-
anthropomorphic character in the.
actually no. I take that back because Sonic X actually explained it. If I remember correctly, there was an episode of Sonic X where apparently Chow existed in the human world because I think they came from there was like a portal that came from Sonic's world or some shit. If I remember that correctly, it's been years since I've seen Sonic X. So
Seeing how Chaos Control worked on that show, I don't
But yeah,
doubt it.
like Commander Walters meets with them and he explains Shadow's past, which we later learn isn't exactly the whole truth.
And it's also funny that he was at the research facility 50 years ago. Isn't it really funny that he decided that he knew Maria and Gerald personally, and then somehow when he works for the government again, head of the military, he hires Ivo? Yeah, that's
Oh.
yeah.
Just wait till we get to my issues with this movie because.
you're right.
The guy who
Let's
was locked up. Let me hire her. I agree. We should hire his
I mean, he is prejudiced towards Robotnik in the beginning.
he-
but it was his idea to send him out to investigate the EMP from the first movie.
Look, they
To
had
be
no
fair,
they
I
had
mean,
no
just
other
because,
people.
Just because you're related to someone, that doesn't mean you're just as crazy or bad as them.
Yeah, but but it's pretty much established from the first movie. that
There's also a
Robotnik
thing
is
of hiring
insane.
someone to keep them under watch.
Which they did a terrible job
it's
with.
like-
It's gone for you.
It's like, boy, I sure hope that he doesn't look up his lineage that's in our databases. That would be really terrible.
Yeah, that is also
To be fair,
really weird.
he didn't.
I mean, if you want to be technical, that was also an issue of the Archie reboot because Eggman did work for Gun. I was like, so you guys know what happened, right?
Yeah.
Wait,
guys
Eggman
know-
worked for Gunn in the Archie reboot?
Yeah, but that's how
Snively, too.
all the events started.
They looked like
Yeah.
Walter White.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway, speaking of Walter, he
Walter dies with
question
a
mark?
bop on the table or a bop on the
Yeah,
head
like
from
so-
the table.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
No, I
like
don't
all
think
of
he
a
died.
sudden, like what seems to be Robotnik's drones attack, and they seem to kill Walters, but a lot of
They
people
don't
aren't really
explain
sure.
that he survived or not. The only exception we got was, a little bit of spoiler. Tom, disguises as him with one of Tails' holograms or whatever. But that's not confirmed whether he survived or not. So
Yeah, we can.
that doesn't confirm nor deny.
Yeah, because after that happens, some mysterious person shows up and instantly I think destroys the drones.
deactivates the drones. Yeah, which is
And-
Agent Stone.
Yeah, and I believe after they leave, the other gun soldiers show up and they give a throwaway line of getting a paramedic for Walters.
They also
God, that Kristen Rutter's character is so pointless in this movie.
Yeah, I don't know why she's in this.
And
Honestly, that's why.
You know, so many people were expecting that. Oh, it's actually a disguise, and she's actually Rouge the Bad. Like
That's
you
what-
were.
no.
So,
Thank
I
God
will
they didn't
feel-
do that. Oh my God.
So
no, that's why I was expecting Rouge to be in this movie.
Yeah.
Because I thought she would be with her, like how
She was
going to
be
in
that Sonic X
So-
female cop, right?
you thought she was.
I don't
gonna be the
remember
Topaz.
seeing that that agent before the movie was out, but I figured if there was something like that, someone would fill in the role
Yeah.
of Rouge instead.
Yeah, so that character's name is, I believe it's the director Rockwell, and her whole character trait is that she's racist to aliens because she refers to the Team Sonic as aliens, and when she comes across Walter's maybe dead, she finds a photo of the Free and immediately assumes that they caused his injuries.
Also,
You know, it's-
Walters does give Sonic the key, which apparently requires 2 keys.
You know, it's
Right before he
really
dies,
funny.
allegedly.
There's a character in the Knuckles TV show that basically had filled the same role, and it's just like, you know, she probably should have, because obviously she died in that show.
Yeah.
They probably should have made her the director just as a thing.
Her whole character's and like injuring or killing Walters is pretty much just the put Team Sonic on Gun's bad side and why they can't help each other for the rest of the movie.
Yeah,
Basically,
pretty much.
yeah. But moving on, we are Sonic and Co. follow that mysterious motorcycle guy's like, it's Agent Stone.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun. And he tells him, yeah, that wasn't us. Robotnik didn't do it. We don't believe you. We cut to Jim Carrey watching a soap opera.
Mexican
Spanish soap opera.
A Mexican soap opera.
You know what scared me? I saw Venom 3 the day before I watched this. The day before. So that actor was in the opening.
Yes!
Of Venom
Yes,
3.
he was! Holy shit, you're
Yeah.
right.
Wait, he was the one that played as the bartender, right?
Yeah.
Yes!
Yes, the
Oh
bartender
my
from No
God.
Way
Shit,
Home.
that's so funny.
Holy
That's
shit.
so
Yeah.
funny.
And
And then when you see his evil twin with the long hair, it's like, that's the alternate universe version of
That's
him in
so
Venom 3.
Bro,
funny.
it's
Oh
connected.
my
Venom and
God.
Sonic. Holy shit. Sony,
Yes.
Sony and
I-
Paramount
Great.
Demons.
I mean, if you want to be technical, Shadow was inspired
Yeah.
by Spawn, and the guy who made Spawn, Todd McFarlane, did
Made
make
Venom.
So
And-
just like,
Big in the
It's-
90s. Spawn.
Yeah, and Sonic and Tails are surprised to see Stone and Eggman because they did confirm they believed Eggman was dead after the second movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't find a body, they're still alive.
Pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Which
What-
is why we assume
That,
Walter
that's
could
actually
live.
another thing I'm wondering. How long does this movie take place after the second?
I could
Hardly,
see a few
because-
months at best. Maybe a year.
because the explanation between Sonic 1 to 3 is supposed to be a year.
Yeah,
Huh.
I guess that would explain like them doing the birthday celebration.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You're
know-
right, yeah. So it has to be a
So-
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 is like 8 months after 1, so I guess it's around 4 months to half a year.
We've seen Robotnik work fast. Also, he has a blue spine still.
Yeah, and getting his drug fix.
Yeah. He's also gained a lot of weight too.
You brought up that Tom and Sonic talking at the beginning of the movie set like a theme for those two. I like to think that the soap opera sets a theme with Robotnik with
I mean,
his plot.
it does kind of
And Shadow.
kind of forershadow a bit because those twin brothers in the Spanish sitcom are played by the same person.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of does. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Eggman is now fat and seems to just kind of completely got off after he exploded in the last movie.
I mean, dude, if I were him, I would have given up everything too, because it's like that's 3-on-1, with Tails, Knuckles, and Sonic. So it's like, yeah, like all right, I'm done. It's like, oh, someone's copying
Yeah, but
your work.
in the law of comedy, he kind of gets rid of the fat suit,
Yeah.
pretty much throughout the movie because I don't really see.
I
a
wouldn't say
belly on him.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say he got rid of the fat.
Yeah, I think it's just 'cause he wore a
completely
suit,
in the movie.
that
Yeah.
kinda-
Yeah, but you can definitely you can see that Jim Carrey is wearing a fat suit when he's Gerald because Gerald.
Oh yeah,
has a
definitely,
gun.
100%. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah, like it.
I'm so,
Yeah, like Agent Stone, like reveals to Robotnik how someone is using his drones, and they all decide to form an uneasy alliance in order to
temporary
figure out what the
alliance,
hell's
yeah.
going on.
which was funny because I was in the first trailer, and then the second trailer was like, nah, we're against each other. So it's just like, well, that was the anticlimactic.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's SA2, so even if they were enemies, by the end of the movie they were gonna team up because it's SA2. So
Yeah, I
Like, they-
expected that.
They go back to the gun, old gun base or whatever to, find the old Eggman drones or whatever.
'cause
They all
Robotnik
separate,
tracked it there.
to go find some clues, Scooby-Doo style.
Yep, which
And, Shadow basically captures them one by one. And then, surprise.
so this whole
there
base
was-
was like the first change.
this was
the
pretty,
first change that I really like took note of because that's like it's probably not the first, but it's the first deviation that stuck out to me to like, oh, this is not SA2 anymore.
Yeah.
Whatever happened with Maria and Shadow is not in space anymore.
Which I'm surprised that they changed, but I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it
it
fit
doesn't
for what
bother
they
me.
did.
Because I don't know, I feel like. Oh, actually, I'm gonna drop a hot take. I think that Shadow and Maria's dynamic here is better than the game.
Yes.
no, I agree completely.
Yeah.
I would
Yes.
say kind of, yeah. But like
It's-
I said, if it was fleshed out more, like,
Well,
really needed an
We
extra
actually
10
in
minutes
terms-
with them together.
In terms of the video games, the only thing we have is SA2, where it's only flashbacks and there's really not anything. Shadow the Hedgehog, which again is flashbacks and it's
And
not,
that's stupid level. Those two
and
stupid
Fuck
levels.
the arc.
and it's not anything. And then Sonic and Shadow
Nope.
Generations, which technically
Which fleshed out a lot,
It
but
did.
that
But
But
also
it took
kind
them-
of.
it took
But a
them
lot of
2
it also
decades to
happens
do
after
that.
the
well,
fact.
not
where
only
Shadow's
not
already
only
been
that,
through
but
that.
it's technically not taking place in real time.
Yeah.
It's because of time travel
Well-
shenanigans, so it doesn't really count. But
Yeah.
this
And-
movie
and-
perfectly establishes within less than like 30 minutes, Shadow and Maria's relationship and how, they're basically brother and sister.
Yeah, because that's what made it work more for me is because we actually got to see like Maria and Shadow kind of hanging out and having fun, like actually see how
Yes.
their
Yeah.
chemistry and friendship build up.
Which compared to the game is just Shadow standing and Maria looking in the window. So it just kind of felt
Yeah.
okay. We
Well,
actually see
let-
them interact with each other.
let-
Also, there's the lizard from the game
Yeah.
from the game, but it's
Yeah.
in the movie.
Yeah, Shadow's
Yeah.
just standing there
I'm,
while Maria has her pure heart girl speech.
I don't know how I felt about the Bio Lizard just being a little tongue-in-cheek reference in a, Godzilla wannabe movie, but it's
I think it kind of works because I feel like trying to incorporate the lizard as the final boss was would have been a bit too much. So at least there's still a reference to it, and
Yeah,
it symbolizes the purpose of it's not from this world. It's a monster, and it reflects how Shadow feels.
yeah, they did it. They wrote it very well, which is why it doesn't bother me. But I want to see my giant kaiju's.
Yeah.
I want I want us to fight giant monsters again.
Yeah,
No,
that reminds me of a,
don't worry.
I would say for me, when it came to that scene with the monster thing, I felt that kind of was a little bit weak for Shadow to kind of jump to that conclusion, like, oh, gee, what if I turn
Well-
out like if they showed a little bit more prejudice from the gun, people.
Well, they kind of do.
Well, no, I mean like in the flashback or whatever, just like regardless of
Well,
without
if I
studying
remember correctly,
him.
there's
'cause-
a lot of scientists and gun officers that do not like Shadow because what this movie changes about Shadow's origins is that Gerald did not create Shadow. They found Shadow.
He just
in,
landed as a meteorite, just
as
cause.
a black comet.
I sure hope that gets elaborated in the future instead
it
of what they
has
did
to.
with. No, Terrence, I can't fully trust them because what they did with Knuckles in the second movie, where his people just randomly disappeared and it never got elaborated.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna be real. People like Shadow more than they like
Yeah.
Knuckles.
Well, regardless, they're still
Shadow's
gonna
more
somehow
popular.
screw it up.
my
Whether they like
prediction is
him or
that
not.
my prediction is that like in a future movie we're gonna have a Black Arm story, and that'll probably be like the cementing of Shadow's quote unquote redemption.
I mean, true. You also gotta remember, Jeff Fowler, the director, he worked on Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yes,
in
he did.
2005, because I believe Blue Core Animation did the CGI cutscenes for it.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I believe he
Yeah.
directed some of the scenes from the cutscenes.
And you want so Shadow is basically his favorite character.
Yeah.
You want to know something? I'm gonna drop some more Sonic trivia.
Yeah.
Did you know that Zack Snyder directed a Sonic-free commercial back in the day?
Really?
No.
Yes.
I just
I think I remember you saying this.
Just imagine if Zack Snyder directed these.
I just reminded, since we discussed earlier that it's probably been a year since the first movie, and this is confirmed to be set in 2024. Does that mean the first two movies are now retconned taking place in 2023?
Don't look. Don't think too hard about
Yeah,
that.
I'm not thinking too hard about that.
I also-
It's-
I that's like kind of the negative thing about doing live action.
Yeah.
But it's like it's a minor thing that I can forgive.
I also wanted to point a funny thing someone pointed out to me was that so 50 years ago is 1974 with the whole Maria and Shadow stuff, and someone pointed out to me that the song that Maria plays over the montage came out in 88.
Yeah, when that song was going on, I'm like, wait a minute, something's not adding up here.
Wow.
But yeah, to go back to when they're in the facility, one thing I thought was a bit weird was the interaction that Tails and Stone have when they're alone together, because I don't know, with the way they had Stone for most of this movie, I thought he was actually gonna leave or betray Eggman, because he seemed to be a lot more growing uneasy with him as it progresses until he doesn't anymore.
Well, I mean, I think with
Kinda,
what all three movies have established is that like Stone is just a devoted follower of Eggman, and
Yeah.
obviously he's his lackey for this universe, but
Yeah.
he's also just a devoted yes man, and will do anything for him. But I think especially when Eggman and Gerald are together, and he's realizing that he's not really important, I think it makes him realize something, but it doesn't really matter anyway because of Eggman's sacrifice at the end. But
I know people said, "Oh yeah, Stone is the best sidekick Eggman has had," and you know what? Why it works? Because Eggman, for the most part, actually like him. They like each other instead of him constantly being angry at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it definitely does work because, Eggman doesn't hate him. He does take advantage of him 100%,
Oh yeah.
but he doesn't hate him. But I think the other way around could work because I think when it's written well, I do like the back and forth between Eggman, Orbot, and Cubot. Because it's interesting for two reasons. It's funny that Eggman would actually create a robot that would give him sass. Like,
Yeah.
there's no reason for that to be a thing, but he did it anyway. So that is just funny.
Yeah.
I would probably say next to Orbot and Cubot, Stone is definitely, the three of them are the best lackeys that Eggman has ever had.
Yeah, it was refreshing to me because like he was pretty different from like a lot of other Eggman's other like lackeys in that it wasn't something he made. They were generally competent and actually seemed to want to work with him.
I mean, that was a thing with Starline, but Starline's entire thing is
I
never
fucking
be
hate
your
Starline.
heroes.
I fucking hate him.
But,
Not as much as Snively, but I think Starline is a dog shit character, and I'm happy
Yeah.
he's dead.
but
He's a comic book character. He's never truly dead. He'll come back in some way, shape, or form.
You better pray. You know what? Maybe that's the reason why Sega is taking down those cast Sonic related questions, because they're tired of those Starline and Isekai adventure questions that might bring him back.
but yeah, I am ultimately happy they didn't go that route with Stone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles are pretty much all ambushed by Shadow and captured, while Eggman finally gets to meet our main villain of the movie, Gerald,
Jim Carrey meets Jim Carrey.
who is 110 years old.
And we never get an explanation on how he hasn't
actually,
aged.
Marcos.
No, I know.
There is an explanation.
No, I know by the director. I know. That's what I'm saying.
They-
This movie had
yeah,
some cuts.
yeah.
This movie had some cuts. And
Yeah.
that's a damn shit because that's an important scene they should have added.
Let's
So-
explain it to the audience. So you know how Eggman in the movie he's like licking Sonic's quills? Yeah, it turns out Gerald did the same thing with Shadow's quills, and that's how he survived. He survived off his chaos.
That's how he
energy.
didn't age.
Yeah.
Somehow was.
And if,
So I will give the movie, like, they don't really address it, but they do lampshade it, because I think when Eggman meets Gerald, I think he says, "Where have you been?" or like, "Where have you been all this time? What have you been up to?" I forget the line that Gerald exactly
He
says.
literally says like,
but-
like I've been trapped or I've been in prison for 50 years. It's kind of hard to send
And,
Christmas
like,
cards.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to send Christmas cards, and then he brings up something like where he's been making do, or like he said a line that pretty much had the equivalent of, "Oh, I've been surviving," and then it shows him licking Shadow's quill, which basically is the movie's version of saying, "Oh, maybe it's the quill that has been making him live so long."
yeah,
Which I get, but
I
they
never
still
considered
should've
that.
they
I
still
just thought it
should've
was
told
crazy
it
like his
rather than
grandson.
just,
They
like,
should've-
lightly
yeah.
imply.
I think
They
A
should've-
throwaway line could have worked.
Yeah.
Because it's because like it could have taken 30 seconds.
Because I do have an issue in regards to like how Gerald escaped. Well, he didn't even escape, but long story short, they release him. In exchange for the schematics for
Just about all his actions are
the
off
eclipse,
screen.
which is like, why would you bother releasing a dangerous person who hasn't aged in 50 years? It just makes no sense to me. Like,
Yeah, that is kind of weird that in the flashback from 50 years ago, he looks exactly the same.
Like, you would
Yeah.
like, realistically, if he's in prison, right? It's like, oh, this dude hasn't aged in 50 years. Yeah, should we release
First
him?
of all,
He's giving us
that's
a
gotta
schematic.
suck. That in 50 years you still kind of look like an old testicle. That's brutal.
Honestly,
I think Foul.
honestly, like, if there were
Let us know, Terrence.
if there were changes, jeez.
This could have been worked around in so
Wait,
many
what?
ways.
I think
Yeah, I'm like, wait.
I'm sorry.
I think Fowler said that scene was cut purely for pacing reasons.
Which is funny because the pacing
Yeah,
is
because
way
we
too
totally
fast for
needed
this movie.
another dancing scene in these movies.
Shut your mouth. That scene was amazing.
Look, it was.
I
it was.
love
Don't get me
it.
wrong, but
They're
they
having
could've
fun in
trimmed it out
Eggman
just a little
Land.
bit, just a little
But
bit.
yeah.
That was no. The thing is, I don't know who brought it up. It might have been you, Dechi. When they were dancing, they should have been fucking dancing to the Eggman theme song.
Didn't
not
they
like
reference that?
the-
Didn't they reference that in the ringtone?
We hear it once. It's his
Yes,
ringtone.
it's his ringtone. But it should have. They should have been dancing to "I Am the Eggman." That would have
Or-
been perfect.
Or if any of you guys have seen Ocean's 12, it should have been that. If you saw that laser dancing scene, they should have just played that exact same song.
Fuck. I mean, that's smart. It's clever.
Oh.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to say this: Gerald should have just been Eggman's dad instead of going for the crazy explanation that he's 110 years old.
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't affect
Look,
that
he's
much.
a man too angry to die.
Yeah.
He's
I guess
scheming,
they. I guess they want to go with Grandpa to make sure he's not involved in Ivo's
Yeah, and
life
we
at
already
all.
I mean, I know some orphan-
established that he was like orphaned.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
like-
and
Oh,
to,
right.
to
You
him,
can
that's like
establish that
as
whole-
close to a father figure he'll ever get. So I can see why.
You
and-
can you can establish like because of the incident, like he lost Ivo. Gerald lost everything. It was like, yeah, he can't be in contact with his son, so his son became an orphan.
But yeah, to get back to like the movie, yeah, Ivo explains that apparently, as you mentioned, that the gun hired him to create the Eclipse cannon in exchange for his release, and that they need 2 key cards in order to activate it. The one that Team Sonic has and one that's stored at gun headquarters in London.
So they gave one to Commander Walter.
Yeah. While the other one was at the other gun base.
I don't know why they just didn't destroy the key.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, no. Like, if it's, like, gun, they probably... Last resort, man. Like,
They should
never learn about nukes.
No, it's like, okay. The last key is hidden in the gun base. Just destroy it.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently I had to ask
Yeah,
me too
just
much.
destroy nukes.
Pretty much a lot of the second half of the movie is based on the fact that Gunn apparently did not really oversee Gerald very well when they made the Eclipse cannon.
Yeah, practically.
But yeah, Ivo is like so happy to have family in his life, basically, that he decides to betray Team Sonic for Gerald. Because Gerald says they're going to use it to destroy the headquarters and take over the world or something. You know, as his grandson and grandfather.
because the thing that was pretty much hinted at throughout the movie after Gerald was introduced, it's slowly being shown that Gerald is definitely manipulating him throughout this whole
definitely
movie to do what he wants.
was trying to match his goofiness or silliness of Eggman up until the point once he grabbed both keys. That's when he reveals his true colors and personality somewhat.
Because obviously throughout the whole movie, Eggman just assumes that him and Gerald are just going to rule the planet together with the Eclipse Cannon.
Yeah.
As in the games, that's what Eggman thought he was going to do. And then obviously by the end of it, Gerald's like, no, everyone dies, even me.
Yeah, he's like, we're all going downhill.
It's kind of like even hinted. You can argue it's even hinted right from the beginning because I believe Gerald pretty much straight up says that it wasn't Ivo who tracked him down. He left those clues for them to find him.
Yeah.
And what other reason would he have for doing that?
So, like, since the first scene that he's introduced, it is pretty much established that he's manipulating everything. Which, it's basic storytelling. There's nothing wrong with that, but
Yeah, but the movie, because you make it seem like, oh, the whole he's insane was an act, but then as the movie by the betrayal is like, no, he's just the same, which is a bit of a letdown.
To be fair, I think this Gerald and the video game Gerald are two very different characters. They're similar. They're similar in the aspect of where like the tragedy comes, and they're both connected in that point. But as far as the game canon is concerned, Gerald was a good citizen. Like, he was a good person. It's just the events of the space colony, the raid on the space colony arc, and losing Maria and all of his staff and faculty drove him off the deep end. Whereas I feel like from the beginning, this movie established that Gerald was kind of a little shady, and then the events that happened kind of just turned him into a madman, like literally just turned him insane.
See, that's the one thing I wish they showed in that movie, is that we should have more scenes with Gerald and Maria, and maybe like how much like she meant to him, and maybe have a mental breakdown or something like after Maria
that's
dies.
what
because that 5-second reaction of him looking sad, that was good, but like we should have gotten more. Just it would have been nice to see Jim Carrey have an actual mental breakdown. Something.
That's
him in prison where he's just screaming something.
Because it's always interesting to see like comedy actors like actually do like a serious role.
Yeah.
Because it's you always, for Jim Carrey, you always know him as comedies. He's a comedy actor. He does kooky and funny stuff all the time. But and honestly, I feel like Gerald Robotnik was probably the first time I've ever seen him in like a serious role, as quote unquote serious as it could get.
He technically has done a serious role, like one or two movies in like the mid 2000s.
I hate that my first thought was the sad scene in Horn Hears a Who.
No!
I forgot that movie was a thing, and I saw it in theaters.
So did I.
You saw that? Why?
Well, you see, it was 2008. I had nothing better to do.
Yeah, I was like, what, fucking 14?
I was like 13? In middle school when that came out.
Okay. I'm not going to judge because I saw Clock Stoppers in theaters.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't know. That sounds like a Disney movie.
It was a Nickelodeon movie.
Oh, that doesn't make.
I was like, that sounds like fairly obvious.
It was like I was 11 years old, and I went to go see Happy Feet with my friend. Like, you see stupid shit when you're a kid.
Hey! Happy Feet is one of East House's favorite movies.
Bro, I only have seen Happy Feet once, that one time, and all I know is that Elijah Wood is the Penguin, and it's a weird live-action CG hybrid, and Robin Williams is in it. And he's a Spanish penguin for some reason.
Two! He's two of them.
Yes, he is two. Spanish penguins for some reason.
That he is.
Right, so Ivo betrays Team Sonic, and him and Gerald get the key card off of them because, as Sonic himself points out, they were stupid enough to bring it with them.
I mean, the alternative was it stayed along with the body and they'd have found it faster.
Okay, I think there's something that we need to establish. Sonic in these movies is basically MCU Peter Parker. He's a screw up.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you talking
Yeah.
about
wrong?
like the Sonic movies in general?
Yes, like he is.
Because this is also objectively the youngest Sonic has ever been portrayed.
Yeah.
Like because the thing about Sonic is that back in the classic days and now today in the modern days, he's supposed to be like 15 years old, but obviously he does not act like a kid or a teenager. Like I just don't care because he's an anthropomorphic hedgehog, so it's he's a Mickey Mouse looking character, so I don't really care if he's acting like an adult because it's a video game.
Yeah.
I don't really care. This is probably like the most immature and the youngest Sonic has ever been portrayed. And
Prime.
I've only seen like 8 episodes of Prime. I don't really know anything about it.
Yeah.
But
No,
better than that. I only watched like
so
2 episodes.
he is
I
so
couldn't.
stupid.
the movies are better and more popular anyway, so it doesn't
Yeah.
even matter.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen the first movie in like 2 years, and then I just rewatched the second movie last week. I'm on the fence on how Sonic is in these movies because he is definitely cringe, and kind of not in the good way. Kind of cringe and like,
I mean, it's
how do you do my fellow kids way?
Sonic is a character that always appealed to kids at the time period, so I get it. But there's also a part of me that feels a lot of the elements of movie Sonic in this feels like this is Tails.
Yes. Yeah.
I've said to Deshi before that movie Sonic is my favorite version of the character.
I would say, as of this movie, I think Ben Schwartz did a fucking phenomenal job. This is probably the best. This is the best Sonic has ever been portrayed, at least movie Sonic wise, in the third movie.
Yeah. Yeah, especially here.
In terms of favorite Sonic, probably not, just because the first 2 movies he's very immature and cringe. But I mean, I'd probably just say Game Sonic for the sake of it, just because what you see is what you get.
Yeah, I've never found. This is going to definitely be controversial, but I've never found Game Sonic as an interesting character. I always found movie Sonic more interesting.
Well, also the thing about the games is that it's a video game first and a presentation second, so you have minimal cutscenes to establish character interaction and just Sonic in general. So basically, out of Sonic's bread and butter personalities, there's only so much else you can do. Yeah. And depending on the direction, it could be stale or it could be entertaining. But as opposed to something like the movies, which are focused on character development, or comics, which are focused on character growth.
Yeah.
And also, Sonic isn't a character he's supposed to be a static character. He's meant to be the character that influences everybody else.
Yeah.
Around him. Kind of like, huh?
What were we going to kind of like who?
Crap. Think of him
Goku.
as a TV show detective, where he doesn't get the character development. He just does the cool things, and everyone else around them are the ones that are inspired or influenced by their actions and become better, or how Mario is in the RPGs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you played Sonic Frontiers?
No.
Yes.
I feel like that's one of the clearest examples of that.
But yeah, they take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it because it's all about Tails, Amy, and Knuckles reflecting on how Sonic has changed their perspective.
As well as Sage.
Yeah.
But yeah, they take the key card off of them, and they try to kill Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles by using this device that creates a temporary black hole.
Mini black hole from nowhere. Okay.
Yeah. And but they managed to escape by getting a rain portal out just in time. And luckily that black hole is on a timer.
Yeah, it's not gonna question that.
Yeah. And apparently Gerald's Fane detects no life forms around, even though they just teleported to the mountain right over. I think he would still be able to detect them, but whatever.
Don't think about it.
Yeah.
Shut up! It's a kids movie.
But yeah, then they go.
Which is why I don't know why they just didn't have him teleport directly to the house, but...
Yeah. But yeah, then they go back to Tom and Maddie, which I felt that scene was funny, but it was definitely the weirdest bit of comedy in the movie to me.
Is it the puppet?
Tom?
Oh no! Yeah, I did not like the puppet.
That was very weird, but I also got the Knuckles show vibes from that.
Yeah.
It's not so much that it just felt out of place for Tom.
I got a chuckle, but that's all you got from me. Was just a bit of a chuckle.
Yeah, I didn't really. I saw it. And I'm like, wow. I saw an eyebrow raise, but not a bad eyebrow raise. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird, but whatever.
It's like,
blind.
puppet, that's cute. Oh, it says here for the generic. I hate my wife joke.
I did laugh at the hologram scene when they went to the gun headquarters.
Yeah, that was funny.
I
did like
agent.
I did like the other characters' reactions to Puppet basically being kill it.
Yeah, everyone's just like, don't do that again. For real.
Or
animals don't like puppets.
We're not even at the best joke yet, so.
So basically, Tails comes up with a plan on how to break into Gun's base and a Mission Impossible sequence.
Oh, I love that bit.
I'm also really impressed with Tom and Maddie's. Okay, thank God we can finally jump into action now.
Yeah, I actually really did appreciate that because usually for all these movies you have oh, we're getting in trouble again. Oh no, and it's they're like, no, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah, they're bored.
Let's do this. It's just funny.
Yeah.
The movie also does establish that they had decent amount of free time, and then they don't like it, so they're like, yes, we're gonna die. Let's do it. Let's go.
Parents when their children go off to college.
Apparently, they don't have jobs anymore.
Can I mention that?
He's still a police officer.
I think Tom is still supposed to be a police officer.
Yeah.
I feel like they kind of don't bring up that Maddie is a vet, and
she's a baker, right? Didn't they say?
No, she's a vet. She's a vet.
No,
She's
but
a
in this
vet.
movie in
So
3, didn't they specifically say she bakes now or something?
No, that's what she was doing when she had free time. And
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
like,
Okay. I thought that
I'm
was
just
a new
like, I
occupation.
kind of wish her.
She baked in the first movie.
I kind of wish that her vet built knowledge would come in handy more in these movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also at the same time I kind of don't really care what their jobs and backgrounds are because they're not the main focus.
They had less
so.
screen time compared to the 1 and 2 for sure. And for
Yes,
better or worse, I'd say better, but it's for better or worse.
I'd say better 100%.
It's definitely due to the backlash of the wedding scene where we had we had nearly 10 minutes without Sonic Tails.
Speaking
Right.
of which, I
Because-
love the
didn't
way
see
how
the
they
vision.
brought Rachel.
It's
and
the same.
Randall
It's
back
the same
in a
thing
different
with
way. How they reused different.
It's the same thing with the Transformers movies. Anytime the Transformers are not on screen, it's fucking boring.
Damn you, Shia
I feel
LaBeouf.
like humans.
I just don't agree.
Yeah.
I will disagree because Tom is actually one of my favorite characters.
I do like Tom. I also think James Marsden is a good actor, but if I am going to go see a Sonic the Hedgehog movie,
Yep.
I want to see Sonic and his friends on the screen for, I'd say, about 90% of the film.
Yeah.
Question. Did you ever see Enchanted by any chance?
No.
Why does that sound familiar?
Because
It
he was
the
in
Disney
that movie.
movie where a character gets from the fictional anime world gets transported to New
Oh,
York.
yes, I actually did.
James Marsden was the prince.
Yes, he
And I'm
was!
just
Yeah,
like,
he was.
Holy
I'm
shit,
surprised he.
Thus began his typecasting.
No,
No, he was
Trust
Cyclops,
me.
wasn't he?
Watch. Yeah, he was Cyclops, and also he was. I just kind of wish, like, to counter Robotnik, he also just slowly went insane with everything going around. Because if you can see how he can act, oh my god, he has. For my money, he's one of the best actors with range in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And
I haven't really seen a lot of his, outside of like X-Men and a few other things, I really haven't seen a lot of his work.
It's just like if you compare how he is in the Sonic movies and compare it to Enchanted and X-Men, he's very versatile as an actor.
I mean, that's what you need.
But
Yes.
but yeah, I like how Tom and Maddie were handling this movie. I don't think they should just like forget the human characters. They didn't have them in a lot of this movie, but what they did was still pretty important to the movie.
No, yes. I think this movie treated the human interaction the best way possible. They were there and they were a part of the plot, but they didn't overshine Sonic and the actual Sonic cast.
Yeah.
But they were also there to help Sonic. I think it was the perfect amount, and going forward, I think that's all you need.
So yeah, Tails' like plan is they need Tom and Maddie to sneak in the gun headquarters disguised as gun soldiers so they can shut down that weird energy thing they have around the headquarters. Otherwise, it will incinerate
The
them.
shields, the security systems, the typical.
The Resident Evil 4 lasers.
Yeah.
And Knuckles is like the backup guy or something.
They lasted way too long on that in case of emergency joke.
Yeah. Knuckles is a lot more of a comic relief character in this.
It's so weird. Because I kind of wish he was more. They retained more of the Drax / Teen Titans Starfire energy that they had going with him. Him laughing at Tails looking like a Pokemon is funny though.
But yeah, then we have the infiltration into the headquarters. One of my favorite sections of the movie. I think there's a lot of great bits in this. The first thing where they bully their way in by Maddie disguising as Rachel.
Wasn't there promotion of Rachel being posed as like a gun agent or something?
Yeah, because it's implied that she's now a gun agent alongside her husband.
Which everyone took to assume she hates that blue rap.
Okay, so I was with Johnny, and my first mind was thinking of that one meme going around with Spider-Man 2, the video game, where Peter is in the Spider-Punk outfit and he takes off the mask and he looks so sad because everyone found out that Robbie is black. Yeah. So I'm just like, Tom, no!
I did think of
Now,
I went with it, but yeah.
Meanwhile, the Eggmans and Stone and Shadow are now also in London. We get a montage of Gerald and Eggman having some bonding moments in VR.
So fucking funny.
Yeah.
And Stone is sad.
Stone is jealous.
Yeah.
And sad.
And him and Shadow remain behind while the Robotniks go into the gun base. I forget how they get in because again, I had to go to the bathroom, so I missed from when the Robotniks went in to when we got to the dance.
No, we don't. They just somehow do. They just somehow do it through hologram or they're through. They were literally hiding in the paintings.
They blended.
Oh yeah. They did the whole pose. They pose in front of pictures of
how they got in the building. We don't know.
Wall.
They just did it through science and magic bullshit.
Yeah.
They don't show you
fact.
directly how they get in, but they show you that they both have camo suits that just naturally
Reflect.
camouflage to whatever background they are.
Yeah.
So
Also
They
reflects the
also both
lasers
work
off
for
of them,
guns,
too.
so if
Yeah.
anyone knows how to get point A to point B really
Yeah.
fast,
If-
it would be
if
them.
I-
That was
fun
also
fact. One of the people in those pictures was Tyson Hess.
Oh, really?
Aww.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what he looks like. I guess I just didn't realize it.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't
it's just one- it's-
Ryan
it's a blink
Drummond
and you
in there
miss it.
too?
Yeah.
As like a
I don't think
background?
so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
This was like a scene where a funny scene where Tails like discovers their mech in the sewers and like flushes them out.
Yeah, but anyways, basically Eggman and Gerald pretty much beat Tails and Sonic with the break-in thing. And that's when we get the dance scene of while they're in the security system with the lasers bouncing off their suits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, the head, though. The head!
Yeah, that's
Lasers
the only
can
thing
hit
that
the
was perfect.
head.
Nah, y'all should be dead.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I think they're not. Tom and Maddie aren't able to get the shield down, so Sonic has to do like a jump into the like the hole.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually,
Well,
here's my.
they get stuck by the crazy gadget.
Oh yeah, like that was the only hint of like, oh yeah, no, like they plug in the Tails USB, but they also find Robotnik's USB plugged in as well.
Oh.
Okay, actually, I do have a nitpick or criticism. Why were Sonic and Knuckles far away from the building instead of being close by? Because there was no point in that.
It doesn't matter. They can just get there as fast as they can.
Yeah,
But-
one can
but
glide,
it's-
one can fly at incredible speed. So
To make sure Gun doesn't catch
Well,
them.
no, the
too
thing-
close
Plus,
to
if,
it.
that this
plus if
movie
they were
does-
closer, let's be honest, they would have been recognized by humans, and which would cause a
Oh.
distraction.
Well, also the thing that this movie universe has established is that Knuckles is almost as fast as Sonic. Like he's not
Yeah.
fast as Sonic, but he
Close
can.
enough.
He's fast.
Yeah.
So, like it's not like
No, actually,
gonna
Knuckles
take him, like, 5
also has
seconds.
Yeah.
Knuckles also has chaos energy because if they're establishing that's what Shadow's being powered by.
I don't
the
know
lightning.
exactly. I don't know what it is because Sonic has the weird lightning stuff. Knuckles
It's
has the
chaos
lightning
energy.
stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, was it ever
I-
established, or is it you were just
With Shadow, yes.
with Shadow? Yes, but not with the rest.
Yeah, because
But
that's been a thing
I-
since the movies that they were introduced in. Not to mention Knuckles has the fucking flames of disaster for some reason.
Which he only
So-
used once.
I
to
did
break-
think
to
that
break
as
the
he was
glass.
gliding.
I
Yeah.
honestly wished it would have been used in a more important.
That's why I just kind
Nah,
of
it's funny, it's
assume
funny.
that
Flames
they
of
have, like,
disaster.
that they have like their
So
supernatural
hold on.
powers or something. I don't know, but Shadow has
hold on,
chaos
so,
abilities.
Yeah.
So anyway, speaking of chaos, I had to step away, so I wasn't paying too much attention yet. Did we bring up the scene of like the part where Maddie says, "Why don't we just use the Master Emerald or the Chaos Emeralds?" Because that happens before the heist.
Because it's
Knuckles,
the wrong choice, and we're gonna.
Knuckles
make the
addresses that he doesn't want anyone to use the Master Emerald's abilities again.
Because
But yeah. I'm asking if we have brought it up
it's
yet.
too dangerous and powerful.
Which I don't know
Pretty much
how
just
they come to that
foreshading
conclusion because it's like
the third
it's
act.
not like he turns into Psycho Supersonic like
Uh,
in the one British comics or anything
well,
like that.
No, I know. I think it was just more of Knuckles stating that the Master Emerald
Yeah.
has unlimited power, and considering what Eggman did in the second
Yeah.
movie with it, we shouldn't do that again,
we
and make sure that nothing
It-
happens.
we also know
Is Knuckles taking his job
we also know
seriously?
from this version like
Yes.
Supersonics is a bit dangerous to be around because I remember in the second movie like Knuckles says I think like either Tom and Maddie not to touch him when he's in this state otherwise they'll fry him.
Well, no, he was like, we don't know how he's too powerful. He could not be the
Well-
same Sonic you know him as. Like, never mind.
Well, also the thing
Mm-hmm.
the thing about the Chaos Emeralds, at least from what these movies has established, is it takes the term thoughts into power like literally. Because again, in the second movie, Sonic literally was able to create a chili dog out of nowhere. Like it just
Yeah.
pops out of the sky. So I'm assuming the Chaos Emeralds
yeah, it's taking the whole turn your thoughts into powers thing.
Yeah.
Literally.
like Jim Carrey was literally able to make the Death Egg robot just from the Master Emerald power, like
Yeah.
from whatever he pulled from the town, and he made the Death Egg robot. So the Master Emerald and by proxy the Chaos Emeralds are very, very powerful in this universe because you can literally do anything. So
yeah.
So
Well, that
Knuckles being
reminds
so
me.
hesitant makes sense.
Yeah, but
That reminds me. Why were the Chaos Emeralds back inside the Master Emerald, even though the second?
Yeah, I also remember they got scattered like every game.
Because
Well, I'm
I-
assuming when Knuckles just put the Master Emerald back together, the Chaos Emeralds reformed into it.
That's a mighty.
Sonic could
assumption,
also
but
just
I don't know.
grab
It's
them
the
in
movie
his-
universe. There's a
in a
lot of
free
things they
day.
do differently in the games.
Find the Dragon
You know,
Balls.
especially with how
this-
small they are. Those Chaos
Yeah.
Emeralds are like pebbles, for God's sake.
Well, to be fair, in the game universe, the Chaos Emerald size has ranged various.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
never to
Yeah.
this tiny.
Because
before.
I was just expecting more of a. Well, I thought this entire movie was going to be, it's a race to hunt down the Chaos Emeralds. So like, no, which actually I'm fine with.
yeah.
Well, I'm fine with, because that wouldn't make any sense, because the Eclipse
Yeah.
canon needing the Chaos Emeralds would literally make no sense, because the Chaos Emeralds are not from this universe.
Yeah, but he
Not
knew
for
the
this
Chaos-
planet.
The Eclipse Cannon is powered by
Chaos
Chaos,
energy,
and
yeah.
Yeah.
what better?
Gun out.
That Shadow can...
Gun building.
Well, that Shadow can produce himself.
just by
Yeah.
running around,
But wait,
like takes a few
gun
seconds.
building. Gun building the. Gun building the Eclipse Clan and wondering why is there this huge hamster wheel being installed into it.
don't we mean it's not originally from this planet?
But no,
You keep saying from a different universe.
Yeah, well,
It is technically.
yeah.
I mean technically
we also technically don't know if Shadow could be from the same universe that Sonic and the other guys
we
are.
don't know. That's what I'm saying. He just literally just
Like,
crashes as a meteorite.
The
That's
only
it.
thing we know from Shadow's origins in this movie universe is that he crash landed from inside a black comet. It is literally a comet that is the color black, so it's pretty blatantly obvious what it is.
Yeah.
How he got there, we have no idea. Where he came from, we have no idea. But obviously, this is going to set up the Black Arms. Like there's just
Yeah.
no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
All right.
Like, if it never happens, it never happens. But I'm assuming they did it so they could set it up.
yeah.
So before we get to the second gun key, Eclipse Cannon key, I think we also forgot to bring up Shadow letting it slip that Gerald might not be all truthful to Robotnik, to Agent Stone.
Yes.
Because I know that happens before Tails literally flushes.
Yeah, while
Yeah,
they're making
it's when-
revenge guac.
It's when they're making guac
Sonic
and Shadow's
boom-ass
watching
line.
the Mexican soap opera.
Yeah.
And he says that she should just kill them both, thus reinstating the fact that Shadow supports and loves Latino women, which is still funny.
I'm kind of mixed on them referencing that.
I don't even know where that originated from.
There's absolutely
It's
no
from like
way.
it's from like a
a
YouTube
YouTuber.
poop thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where-
A
Why
Sonic
Shadow?
YouTuber
But-
that does good impressions of Sonic and Shadow.
But yeah,
Adios, amigos.
but yes, Stone does try the warn Ivo at one point that Gerald might not be on the up and up, but he basically ignores him.
He warns them once they're in the
Yeah.
Eclipse Cannon.
So yeah,
No, I think he tries to call
Yeah,
them
it-
when they're in the base, but then Tails flushes them out, and they get then they get into that predicament. So Eggman never hears from him, and then the whole thing happens when they're inside the gun base, and then they get stuck on the floor, and then Gerald literally makes the best joke in the whole fucking movie, and I was dying.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know,
That was
grandson. A
so
woman in the
funny.
military. I was dying of laughter.
Everyone in my theater lost
Same.
it.
Same.
That was
I think I had the
funny.
loudest laugh in the entire theater.
That was so good.
Meanwhile,
But
someone
yeah.
on Twitter got offended by that joke.
But-
Of
Took
course.
it too literally.
the whole point is Gerald is from a different time.
Yeah, that's
He's like
literally.
110 years old. That's the fucking joke.
Yeah.
yeah.
But anyways, Knuckles does the emergency breaking glass thing and pretty much saves everyone from,
Well, not really, because he steals the pad, breaks it, and just immediately turns on all the gravity things, fucking over everybody.
fair enough.
Yeah, and then like I said, that whole thing turns into Crazy Gadget from SA2.
Yeah.
yeah. Then that would mean Gerald was born in 1914.
Yes.
That's insane.
Oh, but
But yeah, Sonic, causes an EMP with his powers or whatever. But Agent Rockwell, is that her name?
yeah, because they try.
Yeah, Rockwell.
She gets the
Good-
key. Then freaking Tom gets an idea by disguising as Commander Walters. Who, again, at this point and even later, we have no confirmation if he's alive or dead.
Yeah, like as him, he's like I think he says something like he's too tenacious to die, which Rockwell just completely buys.
Yeah, just gives him to him, and then only while Tom is still in disguise as Commander Walters, Shadow shows up. Yeah.
I just want to point out that's how Rockwell just exits the plot.
Yeah, she's never
Yeah.
seen
Yeah,
again.
you don't see her ever
she's
again.
Gone.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
Unless she got
her
cut from the
character
movie
is
too.
completely pointless.
For all we
We-
know, like I said, you can tell this movie had plenty of cuts.
She's off recording
Yeah.
Jessica Jones season 3.
We also glossed over.
Oh fuck, that's where I remember her from.
yeah, we
And
also
Breaking
she's
Bad.
she's Jessica Jones. Yeah.
we also
And she was also in Breaking Bad.
we also briefly glossed over how during that gravity scene they do try to do this the thing where it seems like rubble's gonna fall and kill Tails, Tom, and Maddie. Which is how Sonic's able to do the EMP thing. Whatever that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, Shadow
So
meets up.
Sonic could have broken out, and the first thing he does is think of saving his family and friends.
Yeah.
Then.
Power of
But-
love. Curious thing. But anyway, Shadow sees Tom.
And speaking of power of love,
Yeah. Speaking of which, Shadow basically punches, Tom, who's in disguise. as
get
Commander
Chris
Walters.
Thorndike.
Yeah, because I forgot if we mentioned it, but Walters was the one who chose to seal him away, right?
No.
That was-
No, because
I-
back then he
No,
wasn't
no,
even in
no,
charge
no,
of
but
gun. He
Shadow
was just a
still
guard, if I'm
associates
not
the name
mistaken.
and
He wasn't the head
face
honcho of
to what
gun.
happened.
Walter was unintentionally responsible for Maria's death because
Unintentionally, but he was also like
Yeah.
the first gun soldier to try to
Yeah,
resist.
yes.
And
Yeah, no, because that was a different
and-
soldier that was like gonna shoot him. He's like, "Yo, there's kids in here." And then he
Yeah,
dies.
and honestly, I feel like Maria's death is a lot more tragic here than in the games because she doesn't have any final words. She just
Yeah.
dies unexpectedly.
yeah, she just
So
she
the
just
fact that
dies.
Shadow
That's
was
more
Yeah.
realistic.
So the fact
yeah.
that Shadow was living in that memory for 50 years is so messed up. I was like,
on
huh.
repeat.
Yeah.
Also, I'm really glad that they didn't shoot her, so I wouldn't have to hear a theater cheering for seeing.
Yeah,
no,
no,
that
I
would have
saw-
been funny.
No.
It's
I'm
like-
I-
sorry.
yes,
glad
it
my
would've
theater
been
didn't
funny.
cheer when she died
Like-
because everyone was making memes saying don't laugh, don't cheer
I
when
saw-
Maria died.
okay,
Because it
so
would have been like that episode of SpongeBob
Yeah.
with the snail race when everyone sees Gary blow up and they're like, yeah!
It's one of those.
Okay,
the meme got way too out of hand now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. At the same time, I do like I saw this meme after coming out of the movie. It's like how we all expect to cheer and laugh at Maria's death versus how we actually felt in Maria's death. And it was just
Yeah.
so staunch.
Yeah,
Just so silent. I love it.
I wasn't surprised that they changed it up a bit. Like I think people were a bit silly to expect they would actually show shooting her on screen in a PG movie.
Logistically, yeah, it just
to
wouldn't
be
make
fair,
much sense to shoot and she'd still be able to speak.
In terms of any game, comic, or cartoon, Maria has never been shown to be physically, killed.
Yeah,
we
'cause-
never see it. It is always either implied, the gun is pointed at her, and then you hear a bang.
Or you see a flash of
Yeah.
white light.
Yeah, because this is PG stuff.
Yeah.
They can't show something like that.
So
the only
it's
time
never
we've
been
actually
shown.
seen her get shot,
Yeah.
see the bullet go through her, is in Archie.
Yeah, and yeah. Besides,
Oh, it wasn't Archie?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it was. You actually see her get
When was
blasted.
this?
The one
Yeah.
they did that at the Shadow debut story.
and yeah, I did double check.
Huh.
Walters was the one who made the decision to imprison Shadow and Stasis.
Oh, it was.
Yeah,
Huh? I didn't
Okay.
think he'd have that
So-
kind of
okay,
power
so-
back then.
So at that point, Shadow, deservedly so, has a reason to have a grudge. So obviously he pretty much kicks Tom in the stomach, I guess, so hard that he makes him
thought
unconscious or something.
he punches him. I thought.
Yeah, I was reminded of Sonic.
And Sonic
Yes.
coincidentally
when
shows
he punched
up.
a literal
Sees
human.
what happens,
And-
gets pissed.
Yeah, I actually this was a scene that actually really worked for me because, like Sonic, I actually did get emotional at Tom. It seeming like Tom was going to die.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that because a part of me thinks that he should have died.
I wish
but-
he did, but let's be honest, we both knew he wasn't gonna die, especially not for.
We all knew he
was
was
gonna
going
live.
to die.
He's
at the
also
same time.
he's
Like,
also besides Jim Carrey, he's the best human character, like the best original human character in
yeah.
in the movie.
I
So it's probably not a good thing to kill him off.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
actually remember thinking in the theater that I was going to be upset if they actually killed him off.
If only they killed off Wade. I mean, what?
Because no, I don't
Oh
want
man,
Tom.
but he's Guardian of the Master Emerald.
No, I don't
yeah,
want.
he did such a great job playing hockey.
I'll give
with
the
it, yeah.
I'll
Like-
give the movie credit. He is only in that movie for about like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I'd say less than that. He's in there for like maybe 2-3 minutes at
yeah.
best.
Yeah.
I guess like
That was a joke, by the way.
But going
I
back
just
to-
need the
yeah,
audience to
go-
clarify.
Yeah,
I guess-
yeah. But going back
I guess
to
in
Tom,
hindsight, it should have been obvious that they weren't going to actually kill him off. But at the time, I wasn't too sure,
Yeah.
especially after Walters.
Yeah, though I'll be honest, it does kind of diminish the power of Shadow in my mind because I was like, he would not hold back if he knew he was looking at actual Walter right there. So the fact Tom was able to get away from that kind of diminished the power of his a little.
He's just
Yeah,
built-
it is.
He's just built
It is
different.
funny. Yeah, it is funny because I'm thinking like, oh, he just punched him. Like, why are you being such a pussy? Like, he punched you in the stomach. Get over it. But it's like, Shadow also probably punched him at a specific velocity and a specific strength because he was able to crack Knuckles' fist. So
If you
he's
could even
gotta be-
call it a strike, the way I saw it,
Yeah.
because they didn't have that sound effect in
Like,
the movie, like it was in the trailer.
he
if I'm not
twisted. He did something to it. So it's like, no, at that point, he probably should have shattered all of his ribs and
Yeah.
probably his organs.
Yeah, but later we see he just gets his arm in a sling. Right?
But
Are humans like a debuff for Shadow? because now I'm also trying to remember, how did Chris live his Sonic X? when he
I'm
was
going to
punched?
assume that Shadow was
He just
holding
held
back,
back.
and not
I was thinking 'cause
actually
he
going
kinda
to beat up a
reminds him
child.
of Maria-ish.
No, he was perfectly fine beating up a child.
But
He
There is also that.
he shot chaos spears
Yeah.
at him.
yeah, but yeah, he like Shadow critically injures Tom and Sonic Soul. He kind of loses it a bit, and Shadow.
Sonic goes full Gohan at this
Yeah,
point.
and Shadow seems a bit like confused when he learns that wasn't Walters
Yeah.
because
Well, I actually like that because when it turns
Yeah.
out that it's not, and Tom is revealed, you can see that Shadow's like, "Oh fuck, I didn't."
He's
Like,
like, I
you
didn't
can
mean
see
to,
that
but he's like, hey, it is what
"Oh."
it is.
Yeah, he kind of changes back real quick.
Yeah.
You see like the innocent in him where he's like, "Oh fuck, I didn't mean that," but then he notices that Sonic gets pissed off, so then he goes back into character and he's like, "I did what I had to do."
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple times through where Shadow seems to express some doubts, but still goes along with it or changes his mind back onto the path.
Because that's all he knows.
But anyway,
Um,
Sonic gets the Master, or he gets into an argument with Knuckles about getting
Which,
the Master
I-
Emerald,
at
which
this
I like
point in
that
time-
scene. I did like that scene, the confrontation.
At this point in time, this is probably the best acting I've seen from Ben Schwartz.
yeah.
Like Sonic he's out for blood.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Like
no,
I don't think I've ever seen him this aggressive because it actually gets super tense between him and Knuckles to the point where they're about to start a fight and Knuckles is like, "You know what? Take it. We'll see. Fuck around and find
Yeah.
out. Let's see what happens."
yeah, because he initially doesn't want to let him use it because he can, you can immediately tell he just wants to use the power for revenge against Shadow.
Yeah. Then he snacks it from.
And the way they build off of that is so
Yeah.
good.
And then pretty much everything from Shadow incapacitating Tom till the end of the movie is just all gas. It is just all gas.
So
no breaks.
Yeah. That's when Sonic grabs Master Emerald, turns super. Takes him a little while to fly into space, more than I thought. But yeah.
I'm assuming that
Oh.
was just for like a subtle
yeah.
build up.
I guess,
slightly before that, we actually see them activate and launch the Eclipse cannon.
Yeah, in space. Yeah. That's when Shadow starts to think like, hey, professors, this is what Maria wouldn't want it. And he's like, the question is not whether this is what Maria wanted, it's that, it's what they deserve. Then he activates.
Yeah.
I was waiting for another scene of like Maria saying something to like counter that, like in SA2, but no. Yeah, you're right. It was just a cold death. For
Yeah.
me.
And honestly,
I didn't.
I'm fine with this because
I'm fine with that.
I'm sorry, the whole Shadow's mind was manipulated by Gerald. Kind of feels a bit too complex for what they were trying to do.
Wasn't the reason why it's because he misremembered or her words or something in the games?
Gerald experimented on Shadow again when he was in stasis. So like revenge.
Did he?
Gerald.
It's poorly explained.
I don't remember that.
Happened.
Yeah.
It's poorly explained in SA2, and then I think the
poorly
journal
explained.
entries from Shadow Generations go into it more.
Yeah.
About how Gerald tampered with Shadow's memories. I don't know if he specifically programmed his mind to do certain things, but he tampered with his memories so Shadow would just know, get the Chaos Emeralds, use the Eclipse Cannon, and do what needs to be done. And then I think by the end of it, from the game's logic, Amy tells Shadow that this is insanely fucked up, and do you actually think your childhood friend would want this to happen? And he's like, yeah, okay, maybe you might be right.
Yeah. And so Shadow runs around like the inside rim of the Eclipse Cannon to power up with Chaos Energies to power up the beam thing. And
To which Gerald and Eggman, that's when, Eggman pretty much finds out that, he pretty much was being used by Gerald.
I think it was... No,
I think Sonic like rams through the window and
Yeah,
grabs
Sonic
Shadow
breaks
first.
through the window, grabs Shadow, and then they tussle in space. And mind you, Shadow, for at least a good solid few minutes, is fighting Supersonic in his base form without a super form.
Who somehow knocked the super form out of him. Somehow.
He pulled a fucking Knuckles.
I was like, how? You get one punch by Shadow out the emeralds off of you, and oh my god.
It looked like Shadow used some sort of chaos propulsion.
Yeah. I actually missed quite a bit of this battle because of the bathroom again.
Oh my god!
It's like
dude.
watching DBZ, but in live action.
It was Dragon Ball. It was literally Dragon Ball Z. It was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Because he knocks the Chaos Emeralds out of him, and then they both go super. And the only thing is, the fight is too fucking short. It should have been longer.
Just like
I know what makes it worse. You know what makes it worse?
What's that?
When we cut to the Robotniks fighting, it's just so tone deaf.
It's annoying because, like, at first I thought it was funny because I was just in the moment. Because you see Sonic and Shadow literally in the midst of a Dragon Ball fight, and then at this point, I think after right before that,
you see this Jim Carrey Ditto fight.
Yeah, no items, Final Destination only. But right before the Sonic and Shadow fight, Gerald is saying, "No, we're killing everyone. Like we're using the Eclipse Cannon to destroy the planet." And us will most likely die in the in the casualties. Yeah. And at that point, Eggman's like, "What? Are you fucking crazy?
Yeah.
Like I want to rule the world. I don't want to destroy it." And that's when pretty much Gerald says, "Yeah, no, I manipulated you from the start, and you're not Maria, and you never."
That
will
line
be,
was cold, by the way. Straight up,
when
he said that, he was like, "Oh, Ivo, you're no Maria." And like, I wish we had more sense.
All right, Gerald, you gotta go.
Nice to know how much
honestly, kids are going to be watching this and playing Sonic Shadow Generations, and they're going to be like so confused at how Gerald is.
I'm actually surprised at how radically different they've portrayed Gerald. But I mean, the thing is, video games have so much subtext now, where it's like they literally tell you everything. So it's not like back in the day when we had, I was playing SA1 and 2, also the Archie comics were a thing, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Is any of this shit connected? Because it was really hard to tell back in the day, because you didn't really have like an official like yes or
like
no
a guideline
answer.
Or anything like that.
Yeah, but I like in Shadow Generations, they tell you the whole story. You have to collect it in pieces, and then you have Professor Gerald's diary. But we also have the internet, so if kids are confused, they can just look this shit up, and you can figure it out in a second. So I don't think it's in today's day and age. I don't think it's a big deal anymore.
Meanwhile, I believe Sonic and Shadow crash land on the moon, and Sonic ends
On
up
the moon.
winning that fight. And I think
That's where the fight leads them to the moon, and Sonic is able to knock the superpower out of Shadow, and he's like, all right, do it, kill me, like, let's end it right now. And Sonic's like, that's when he holds back and
remembers what Tom says.
Remembers what Tom says and reverts back to his normal form, and then he just talks about like that's not who I am. I'm not gonna. There's no point to kill you.
There are no winners with revenge.
Yeah.
And then that's when Sonic's speech pretty much makes Shadow realize, oh shit, maybe I fucked up.
Yeah.
Sonic. I had.
Sonic tells him about Lawn Claw and stuff.
He's like, I don't even know who that is.
And honestly, this kind of helps make that Sonic and Shadow are two sides of the same coin. So
Yeah, it's like I had no idea that like
the games, because I believe it was Azuka that said, "Oh yeah, in SA2, Shadow just sees the rivalry between Sonic and Shadow is like a kid brother trying to be better than his older brother." So the rivalry was really from Sonic's perspective, not Shadow's.
Didn't he recently say that him and Sonic are not friends, or something along like that?
I mean, they're not.
Not really, no. But yeah, no, I wouldn't have guessed, like, in terms of getting Shadow to snap out of it and like save the world. I had no idea Sonic would pretty much assume Amy's role from the game.
Yeah, Sonic.
But you know what?
Yeah,
seeing like the general theming that the movie's been going through, it makes total sense.
Now, really, if you really think about it, it's actually Tom was the one that kind of saved the day on that one, because pretty much said that to Sonic. So shout out to Tom on that one.
I also think about this line. I forget which agent said it at the beginning of the movie, where they just say something like Shadow had the same upbringing as you, but where you found family and love, he only found pain.
Oh, that was
Walters.
That was
Walters.
Walter. Yeah, Walter said that.
So anyway, Sonic and Shadow realizes the error of his ways. They both turn super. Oh, and this is where Gerald, deploys a crap ton of robots.
They're gun mechs.
Yeah, and like Gerald tries to kill Ivo by dropping him out into space.
But can't we get to that funny scene where Gerald was, spanking him in the ass with a giant robot hand?
God, again, that's what I mean. The whole Super Sonic and Super Shadow team.
I'm like, this scene is like, I'm sorry, are you trying to kill him?
No, man. Okay, I was thinking about when I said Jim Carrey Ditto fight, and I'm like, the fact I had to say that made me go, okay, no, I will not change a thing about this.
I suppose.
Look, I just want to say this. The only funny joke in that scene was when Gerald used the giant hand, and Ivo was like, haven't seen that since I've hate-watched Green Lantern in 2011.
That made me laugh.
Yeah.
You think Ryan Reynolds was watching that in the movie?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. What is with the sudden hate for Green Lantern? It's so fucking.
It's been around for years.
Because it's the movie version of Green Lantern, the live action.
No, I know that. Like with Ryan Reynolds, I get, but I've been hearing it from other stuff. But it's like, is anyone else were people in that movie?
Yeah.
Like,
Mark Strong, and Blake Lively.
Wow.
Like,
yeah.
Look, it's not even. You know what the funny thing is? It's not even the worst
movie.
DC. It's not
exactly.
even the worst. It's not even
a bad
10.
movie, but it's not the worst.
Yeah, it's like Batman v Superman is a worse movie than that.
So yeah, the two fight, and I suppose it makes sense to give like Eggman this like big moment in fight when you consider again this might be Jim Carrey's final time in the role.
That's what he said last time too. Only a year with gold ink if the script is good.
Oh, yeah, the gold ink thing.
But then he comes later and says, "Yeah, I actually needed the money." It's like, well, yeah, no shit.
Yeah, it
it's
wasn't
always
true. It's
for
like
money.
I bought some stuff, so I actually need the money.
Yeah, what fucking stuff is he buying? He's actually building Eggman Land.
Which I love that they played that song, by the way.
Yeah, his theme is in that, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, so during that fight, Gerald also smashes like the control panel so they can no longer just simply turn off the laser.
Yeah.
And yeah, he tries
also just the random ass moment of Eggman. Gerald just gets scorpion appendages, and Eggman gets like praying mantis appendages. Honestly, I must have been smoking crack when I first saw this, but when Gerald put the scorpion appendages on, when he got the scorpion claws in the tail, I'm like, is that a fucking Sonic Spinball reference?
Yeah.
You know what would have helped that? Like, I would have accepted the scorpions if he grabbed Ivo and said, "Get over here."
You know what? That would have been nice.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
would
would've
have
said, "Get the
random,
load
but
of this."
But yeah, the two fight. He even cuts off half of Gerald's mustache, and Gerald like tries to eject him into space, but he's saved by the arrival of Tails and Sonic, and then like
Knuckles.
yeah, Tails and Knuckles, I meant, and then Ivo like pulls out a quill and bops him in the butt and sends him flying into the Chaos Entry and pops.
He
gets
literally
bugs
gets pegged with a supersonic quill into the zapper.
That actually
Man,
that,
I got my
that
bug
actually
zapper.
shocked me because that's not how I expected Gerald to go.
Yeah, that's a bit.
It's-
He goes
I don't
on
know
a fart
whether to-
joke.
I don't know whether to call it
I wouldn't even call it a
anticlimactic
fart joke. I would call it
or-
more of a pegging joke, if anything.
No,
Oh, wait.
I still like I still liked it for just how little the pop he goes in.
Yeah,
It's
but
very,
it's like,
I feel like it's very
I'll-
on brand.
I initially expected that with the whole him trying to drop Ivo into space that would be how he died.
I'll quote what someone said. I was expecting a little more gravitas for someone who wanted revenge upon the world after the government killed his granddaughter. So him going out like that was a bit,
I mean, it was his own creation.
Yeah,
that killed him.
it's just, I don't know. Kind
Yeah.
of felt like he died via a joke rather than.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I feel like for the first time watching it, because when that happened, a lot of people in the theater just like laughed, because it's very out of pocket and it's just like he just Thanos snaps like once he hits.
Honestly,
the
I would say it doesn't even really kind of fit with the theme of his character, with like with how tragic and how crazy he is.
Yeah.
It just kind of like
I see.
I don't like his death like that. Like it
feel
was funny at first, but like
fits
thinking about
more-
it, it was not the way to go.
It fits more into Jim Carrey Eggman, not
Gerald.
Robotnik.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Tails, Knuckles, and Eggman go to try to redirect the laser from Earth, while Sonic and Shadow try like holding it back, basically.
Yeah,
and
if
then
they
probably
can't shut it off, they can redirect it. That's pretty much what.
Yeah, and probably one of the big the bigger like swap arounds is Sonic is actually the one who falls to Earth. Like he's
Which
not able
doesn't
to hold on.
really make sense. Honestly.
Real quick, can we talk about how Live and Learn was there and it was painfully short as fuck?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy we have the song in the movie. I am, but the fact that it was just so painfully short,
Yeah.
and not only that, the song officially starts when Sonic and Shadow do the Marvel vs. Capcom handshake and both turn super, and the song starts playing with them on the way to the Eclipse Cannon. Then it immediately cuts into Gerald Robotnik with the giant power glove hitting Eggman. And then that scene plays for like, I don't know, 3-4 minutes. And then it goes back to Super Sonic and Super Shadow. And then Live and Learn kind of cuts back in. And it kind of plays a little bit when they're fighting the gun robots, but it doesn't really. And then I think it comes back one more time for like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I feel like what should have happened is Live and Learn should have the full fucking song should have been in the movie.
Yeah.
Whether Junkie remixed it or changed some of like the chords, the full fucking song should have been in the movie. And it should have been playing with like little to no audio of Sonic and Shadow fighting the gun robots. You see Eggman and Gerald fight each other. Or it should have been playing fully
excuse me.
when Eggman, Tails, and Knuckles are trying to move the Eclipse Cannon and Shadow is like trying to get it out of the way. Because the more I'm thinking about it, the more it does kind of frustrate me. Not infuriate me, but just make me angry. Because, again, I'm happy that the song's in the movie, but we needed the full fucking
It was
song.
criminally underutilized.
Yes.
The best way I could put it. So it's real quick, since we're on that same topic, how about the singer of Crush 40 suing Sega for Live and Learn? Since we're on the...
I swear to God, if Sega fucks this up and we lose Live and Learn, like this whole year they've been doing great. If they ruin this year because of this shit, they're gonna lose a lot.
Deji, you want to explain? It's
okay,
this
Terrence.
lawsuit...
It's okay. We can have undefeatable. We'll be fine.
No, I don't want
No.
the fucking Sonic Frontier songs. I want Crush 40.
Speaking of which, Deji, you mind explaining the lawsuit on how this all came about for those that don't know?
Honestly, I think you're better off on this, or actually Gage, because the debate Gage and I have for the past 2 years is this movie should have used Sonic music, and he was arguing that maybe it's due to a rights thing, and I always felt like it's kind of weird that they would have a hard time negotiating rights compared to getting someone like Bruno Mars.
According to this article, it's not, because the article states Johnny stated that he signed a contract with Paramount, stating that they can use Live and Learn, the version that they made for Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah.
They can use that however they want. If I read that article correctly, he said that he made a contract with Paramount and they can use Live and Learn however they want in the movie. So at that point, it fucking goes right back to Junkie.
Yeah.
Because he probably used as little as he felt comfortable using. Which, I'm sorry, it pisses me off. And this guy should not be in charge of the fucking music. Like, we don't need like a Sonic song every like 5 seconds.
Right.
Yeah.
But don't be afraid to
when it
play like a
counts-
minute of it. You don't have to play the whole thing, but play
Yeah,
a minute, a good
when it
chunk
counts-
of it. Something.
And when it's important, play the fucking video game music.
Yeah.
Like, get over it. These movies are based off of video games that have a history
Embrace
of
it. You gotta
music.
embrace it.
Like, get over it. Like, oh, but the parents won't get... Fuck the parents.
Yeah,
also, there's
that's what's
enough
up.
parents at this point that are, like, our age that have children. So it's like, get over it. It's literally just Hollywood bullshit.
God, I'm sorry, sir. You just reminded me. You ever think about how there were kids born after the first Sonic movie because their parents saw it on Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember we brought
there are
this up
two
a lot.
YouTubers that are proof of this, and they're from Good Vibe Gaming.
Oh my god.
So yeah.
Oh, actually, yeah, speaking of YouTubers with kids, apparently I just saw on Instagram, JonTron's having a kid.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, cool. for
So,
him.
we're all getting old.
I had to text something for a moment, but yeah, I think it's also that it's different with when it comes to games with rights and stuff. Like I've mentioned to Deji before, the whole like Ian Flynn said that in Frontiers he wanted to have like Sonic like hum or sing some of the lyrics songs in like his idle animations, but he was told he couldn't because of licensing issues.
Yeah, I believe it. But to make a...
And it makes you wonder why is Sega kind of bad at licensing Sonic music?
I mean, they
Well-
were bad at a lot of things, like, keeping with their...
Well, I think on the Japan side for stuff like, for instance, like whatever the music it was from Sonic 1.
Dreams come true.
I know with the copyright in Japan, it's usually the person who actually makes it gets to own the copyright, not the company.
Yes. Copyright laws are very different in Japan from international wise.
Yeah.
And then the cross country like copyright laws are just very different, and it gets very sticky.
Yeah.
Because I know there was a whole issue with Hunted P, but I think that was more on Hunted P's fault
Oh,
than
yeah.
Sega.
Yeah. Screw that.
There was something else. Who's another?
I
was
remember-
it?
Not with Sega,
Fuck,
but
I don't remember.
not with Sega, but I remember with when they made that one Pokemon X and Y movie with Mewtwo, they weren't allowed to use the Mewtwo from the first movie because that version is owned by Shudo's estate.
What you mean? When they made the Genesect movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was black and white.
See, I don't know about that because in Pokemon Journeys they brought back the Mewtwo.
Well, that was because that was after they made a deal with them. Because remember, they remade Mewtwo Strikes Back.
Oh,
So-
yes, you're right. Okay. Yeah, that's why it's so annoying with fucking copyright laws.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, again, if it's Japan over America or Europe. It's so fucking annoying. And Sonic is, like, the biggest... I feel like, in terms of any video game character, besides the JoJo stands, Sonic is, like, the biggest offender to that.
Yeah. So yeah, Tails, Knuckles, and Eggman are able to redirect the cannon laser away from the Earth, cutting off some of the moon in the process, of course.
Yeah.
And
I
do
did
love
it. Look what you've done.
I love their reactions.
He pissed on the moon.
But
I'm
Eggman's
really glad I did not
reaction
try
to the moon
referencing
being
that.
somewhat destroyed was hilarious.
But as mentioned earlier, Sonic unfortunately wasn't able to hold on as long and starts falling back to Earth in his regular form.
Which he starts burning up and then doesn't burn up and then burns up again. While
Yeah.
Tails and I don't understand the logic with that. Like with
Yeah,
the
Tails-
atmosphere or whatever, but Tails
Well, Tails goes and grabs him, and then Knuckles goes.
and fails miserably
Tails-
until Knuckles comes in and saves
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
I don't know.
Tails goes unconscious, and then Knuckles grabs the ring and chucks it, and then they land in a cornfield.
Yeah,
Probably in Nebraska.
Yeah, Tails' plan fell through almost immediately because he almost immediately passes out.
Right. I'm like, dude, Knuckles is the MVP for that one for sure.
Meanwhile, Shadow goes back to Ivo, and I think basically that's what's going to happen now. So I assume that Gerald had a backup plan in case the laser wasn't able to fire, where the Eclipse Cannon, after it's tried to use, is just going to explode and irradiate the Earth.
Well, I think that's when it copies SA2, and I think Gerald programmed it if the cannon didn't work for the arc to hit the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And I think explode.
Well,
And then I think that's when Shadow tells Eggman, we got to take care of this.
well, no. When Shadow talks to Eggman, Eggman explains that the Eclipse Cannon is going to explode, and its explosion will irradiate the Earth. That's why Shadow has to move it out of range so the irradiation doesn't
Which he
hit
used
us.
his inhibitor rings, or he took off the inhibitor
Yeah,
rings
which he pulls a fucking Sonic X, which is great.
to
Yeah,
move the ship.
That is objectively the best thing that cartoon introduced.
and
Which reminds me. So, a year ago, the climax of this movie actually got leaked with the storyboard, and it got the MCA proving it was real. I kept my mouth shut about it for a while.
I saw
and then
it.
When I saw it, I'm like, oh, yeah, that was real.
yeah.
Yep, I remember
So-
seeing that. I kept my mouth shut about it too.
I never saw it because I don't like getting
Yeah.
spoiled.
So,
Yeah.
Eggman basically broadcasts a final speech to the Earth, and even admits that
It's
Stone
actually
is his friend.
really fucking funny that the Eggman announcement, adaptation,
Has
is
the exact opposite tone.
opposite from the video game. That's actually really funny.
Yeah. And
That's amazing.
He gives a personal goodbye message to Stone.
yeah, and luckily, him and Shadow are able to get the Eclipse Cannon out of range, so its explosion won't harm the Earth.
Yeah.
And Eggman's presumably dead, but who knows?
Now just give him another paycheck.
Body-
He'll come back.
Body was not shown. I think they did it that way so that they could say, all right, if Jim doesn't want to come back, then we say Eggman died. And if he wants to come back, we'll just say, yeah,
Going back, chaos
It just
control.
Shadow probably Chaos Control.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
just the explosion didn't
Which,
kill him. It just sent him to
honestly-
another dimension.
Honestly, if that does happen, it's kind of a nice tongue-in-cheek reference because, technically speaking, Eggman does save Shadow at the end of SA2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
And also, this was another Sonic X reference, because this happened when Shadow went super and pushed the Eggman ship from being destroyed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
as mentioned, Knuckles ends up saving Sonic and Tails, and they have a bit of a reconciliation because of their whole team issues.
Yeah, it's like you did it without us. Yeah.
With the apparently the last event theme is playing during that
Yes.
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I recognized
I
it.
didn't even hear that.
Yep.
I'm surprised I didn't, but then I think I saw like a smartphone video capture of it. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, that is it.
And then we have a bit of a bookends where they're back at the campsite and go on a race again, and Tom's fine.
Yeah,
Tom's fine.
Tom's
She just
fine.
had a
Still
broken
not
So
actually what
we're-
happened to Commander Walters, which again, just a line said he survived
cares?
something. I'm just saying.
Who cares?
Just
Like,
say that
honestly-
he's dead or no. Yes or no.
Although it is really funny if you look at Sonic 1 in the first from his point of view, and then he finds out that like, oh, there was a hedgehog living in Green Hills. Can I see it? How does he look like? Please don't tell.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. One thing I neglected to mention is at this point it seems like Sonic and crew are fine being in the public because they had no problem just going into the Chow Garden at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah. Movie
and
ends
we
with a
get
race.
our-
Well, I think after both Knuckles and Sonic 2, I think it's pretty much like it's hard to cover up that they exist
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah.
Because I think the events of Sonic 2 were broadcasted live.
Yeah.
And
No, the events of Sonic 2 happened because they happened in small areas. One was in a bar in Siberia with a stupid dancing scene. Then you had
Hawaii.
Hawaii, but again, that was like isolated
That was like
by
far
the
away.
government.
Yeah, that was far away from
But
like
the,
the
Yeah.
the climax
Yeah.
of the first two movies took place in Green Hill.
Green Hill.
The Knuckles show took place in Vegas, but but they also kind of make a tongue-in-cheek reference that, oh yeah, this is the first time something like this happened. Like an event like this happened 50 years ago, and I'm like, huh? What a random thing to drop.
Yeah.
But yeah, all is well, and then we get our Wait,
Actually, let's talk about the post-credit scenes first because
I was about
Shadow
to bring
Survive.
that up.
Honestly, I think they fucked up.
Yeah, royally.
Uh,
I thought that was
The post-credit scene should have been the mid-credit scene.
yes.
Yeah.
Because it's like
Yeah.
it's like, bro, who do you... Of course we know Shadow's alive.
yeah.
Like, if anyone's fucking
So-
into this franchise, of course Shadow survives.
of course.
Like,
So I
whether
actually,
Keanu comes back or not, it's blatantly obvious.
so I actually missed the post-credit scene when I went to the movie when I saw the movie because my brother asked me to look up if there was one, and the site we used didn't mention it, so we just left.
But I told you there was.
I mean,
forgot.
these
Apparently,
movies always had
originally-
one, just like two.
Yeah, I
and
know.
one, so
and
it's kind of
the funny,
yeah.
like the funny thing was originally I was told that there were going to be like 6 end credit scenes, and like each,
I heard
That was,
3. But we only got 2.
no, I heard 6.
no, there's
No,
two.
I heard
No. Okay, so this. I know what Terrence is about
Yeah.
to say, but go on, Terrence.
Go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
it was so weird because someone originally told me that there were 6 end credit scenes, and like they were introducing villains in it, and apparently like each villain they introduced in the end credits were going to be deadlier than the last before them. So like I was just so confused and I didn't get it.
Are they talking about Endgame
Yeah.
or something?
The
What
joke is the
I-
Deadly Six.
Oh, thank
yeah.
God! I remember hearing about that rumor. It's
But-
like,
but-
Oh my god.
but
No,
yeah, I bel-
but then
Bro, if that
after
was
that-
fucking true, I would have lost my shit. That would
But
have been
then
so
after that, it was the real one. Like it was like,
Hold
oh,
on.
Sonic 3 has free post credits. It's like, huh, that's kind of interesting. What could they have done? But it's like, no, there's 2.
But I believe from what I heard, since you guys actually saw it, is that like we see Shadow get like hit one of his reins back from a crater.
Yeah, the post
that's all it
end
is.
credits
That's all it
is
is.
it's a crater. We see a Shadow's ring, inhibitor ring on a crater. And all you see is Shadow's legs like walk up and he grabs the ring and then it just ends like
that's
that.
it, yeah.
And also
and-
Live and Learn flying.
And fun fact,
And it's like
Elba and Reese.
that should have been the mid credits because it's like, bro, we all know that was gonna happen.
yeah, we know
You
Shadow
should've
wasn't
saved
dead.
the more
That's actually worse than the Yoshi one.
And-
I'm sorry.
and fun fact,
No,
appar-
Yoshi's still bad.
and fun
Yoshi's
fact,
still bad.
apparently Elba and Reese said they expressed interest in doing a Knuckles and Shadow spinoff.
Ooh, that's
That's
gonna
what
be
no,
be an
okay,
expensive
I mean-
show.
Okay.
It's
that's
probably-
what
yeah, it's probably gonna be
Idris
very expensive.
wants to do, but But just because that's what he wants
Yeah.
to do doesn't mean it's
that's
going
really up to the
happen.
studio to make that call.
Because
honestly,
Ben said
I
he
would-
wants to do a Mario and Sonic crossover
Yeah.
movie.
I think like
I would be down for a Shadow and Knuckles show because Shadow and Knuckles rarely ever get screen time.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
Shaw.
it could definitely be interesting though, because I always like it when two characters who both made heel face turns actually interact with that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
You would
because
love Hobbs and Shaw.
Shadow and Knuckles are essentially the Vegeta and the Piccolo for Sonic. So, and again, in Dragon Ball Z, it's very rare when Vegeta and Piccolo have on-screen time interaction. It almost never happens, even to this day. Like they don't really do it.
Come on,
And
Toru
objectively-
Taro, you have the ability to do something hilarious.
And objectively, the most popular screen time they have together was the end credits of Super Android 13.
Yeah. Clearly, I can't wait for Tom and Maddie to have their fourth child.
Because I'm actually trying to think.
Poor Tien.
Outside of the levels where you meet Knuckles in Shadow the Hedgehog, I don't think Shadow and Knuckles have interacted in any form.
Free
Outside-
Riders.
No, really. Like
Free Riders, Knuckles levels.
it doesn't
in
count because
Shadow,
I've never seen it.
And
Also
I think,
because it's Free Riders. We don't talk about that game.
I think Sonic Rivals 2. That is it.
The Rivals games, yes, when Shadow does not take Knuckles seriously at all. And if he wants to go deeper, Archie, where there's an entire arc with them working
Yes,
together.
that's.
And beating the
I was
shit
gonna
out of
say
each other.
outside of the video games, there was that brief moments in the Archie comics, and the brief
Sonic
moments
X.
in Sonic X. Other than that, they have not interacted at all, and I think that would be a good opportunity because I think those two characters can go very well into each other.
And it's Idris Elba and Keanu Reeves, who did work together on Cyberpunk 77.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Idris Elba was in Cyberpunk?
Yeah, he was in the new DLC that came out.
Yeah.
Huh.
So can we talk
then-
about the other end credit scene?
Yeah, where
Yeah, the one
The
Where
one
they
that
have those-
was kind of mid as fuck.
Sonic's stuck in New York and he's gonna get killed in the Bronx. Let's go.
Yeah, he ran all the way to New
Yeah.
York State Park.
So yeah, ending credits pretty much shows up at Sonic in the forest. Then, Metal Sonic shows up.
Which looks fucking
Looks amazing. Then a bunch of more Metal
It looks
Sonic
like
show
he
up.
is. It looks like he is ripped right from the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, actually,
And
I
they
did-
gave him a Mega Buster.
And then they all get
Oh, okay,
smashed by Amy. Girl power.
Okay,
Yay.
wait.
Yeah.
Before you say that, when Metal Sonic first appeared, I was in the theater. Someone said, "Is that Espio?"
Yeah.
What?
Oh, you're telling me you know Espio and not Metal
Yeah,
Sonic?
how does
Come
that-
on.
How does that-
I asked him once it ended. He said, "Oh, you see, because we just saw the back of his head, and Metal Sonic and Espio have
They
the
do.
same
They
back."
do.
Yes,
They
that's
do.
the
you know what?
real
That's-
similarity.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, Metal Sonic's been destroyed by Amy. So I wonder if that means the fourth movie is going to be set immediately after this one.
Dude,
Probably.
we're getting it. Sonic Hero Cinematic Universe.
And of course, like the big question is who's going to be the one who made the Metal Sonics, especially
We don't
if
know,
Eggman's
and that's the
dead.
thing. Like, don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
it's-
Some people cheered for Amy, and that's cool. That's cool that we're getting Amy for the next movie and stuff. But I'll be
She
real with you.
looks
That
great.
credit scene was kind of mid, to be honest, because like there was no built up to it, no catching. It's just she just shows up, destroys some Metal Sonics,
I mean,
and that's it.
that's the point. It's supposed to get you.
Well, it
talking.
didn't
It's
get
like,
me
oh.
excited, Deji.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
other
it's just
two
to
actually
introduce her
did.
design, then.
Also, it's good that they didn't make her speak, because so they wouldn't run into a.
Oh, I'm cool with her not speaking.
Wait.
They show her voice credits
No,
before she showed up.
no disrespect to Colleen, but let's be real. The only reason why she kept on the road is because they kind of trapped themselves with that first movie's ending.
I
Yeah.
don't care. I like her as Tails.
yeah, she's good.
Yeah. It's like
Oh.
they obviously if they
And I
didn't do-
honestly,
if
I think
Tails
it's really
was
nice that
silent-
we actually have an actor from the games that are in these movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's good for her.
Yeah.
Oh no! I'm not disrespecting her. I'm just looking at it from the cynical Hollywood perspective.
No, I know.
They
I
probably
definitely
would-
get
they-
that.
They probably would have gotten a celebrity. Thank God I wasn't
Zendaya.
Thank God I wasn't. Oh, speaking of, who do you think is going to voice Amy?
I don't know.
Zendaya.
I don't
Shut
care.
I will
Your
actually.
mouth.
I will actually kill myself.
I don't
Shut
care
up.
enough.
I will kill myself if
I don't-
that happens.
I don't really know or care much about actors to give an answer.
Honestly, I'm cool if they just bring
I
the
do
video
not
game
really know
Amy.
actors' names, so
her
I'm just
current
gonna
voice
say
actress.
just the game name.
All right.
I'm fine with
I-
either
so
or,
I-
just as long as she sounds.
I
good.
highly,
The game voice.
highly doubt
Yeah.
we will get
One at a
Cindy
time.
Robinson. I
Okay.
highly doubt we will get Cindy Robinson to be Amy because this is the first female Sonic character in this movie.
Yeah.
They probably want probably at least some sort of A, pretty, or B, well-known actress to voice Amy to get people to be interested. I will actually kill myself if it's Zendaya because I am so tired of seeing this woman everywhere.
Okay, Terrence, would you rather have Zendaya or Aquafina?
Shut up.
I was
shut
waiting
up,
for it.
Shut up.
How
Shut
about-
the fuck
would,
up, Deji.
Would you like
Swear
me to
to
shoot
God.
you with a gun or stab you with a knife?
Yeah.
No, use the
Well,
gun. It's
well,
appropriate for gun.
Well, a knife you can survive. You have a higher chance of surviving that.
That depends on where you get stabbed
So
and
yeah.
how fat and how lethal it is.
But it's like, honestly, my biggest fear is Aquafina voicing
Did-
Daisy. I hope.
Do not jinx it, Deji. I swear to God. If Aquafina
What,
gets hired
Aquafina
to
voices
voice
who?
Amy,
Daisy.
Daisy.
Oh, you mean Daisy from Mario?
Yes,
Yeah, no,
'cause
that's very...
Mario.
no, I see, but that's fitting, though. It's very on
Yeah.
brand. They're
No.
both
She
insufferable and annoying
fits
characters.
more as Sticks the Badger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Fair,
true. Both
fair,
insufferable
fair.
and
I'll
annoying
give you that one.
characters.
Okay. Here are my two guesses: Jenna Ortega, Wednesday Addams, or
I could see that.
Haley Steinfeld, Spider-Gwen, Charlie from Bumblebee.
Yeah, I could see that, too.
It's
I mean, I think she was a good actress in both those movies. I don't have a problem with that.
So it's just going to be they want to get a likable celebrity.
Yeah. So to go back to that.
Also,
scene.
if Rouge is in this, look. The only appropriate answer is Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah.
Because
So
that's who Rouge is based off of.
So to go back to
I could unironically see them doing Scarlett Johansson.
yeah. So yeah, I'm definitely wondering stuff like who made the Metal Sonics? Why is Amy here? What's going to happen to Stone?
Literally, the only thing I could think of is what's the theming of the game that Metal
Sonic
Sonic
CD.
and Amy are introduced
Time
in.
travel.
Time
Yeah.
travel.
It has to be Sonic CD. There's both
Or-
Amy and Metal. It's Sonic CD.
Also, so the speech Tom will give at the beginning of the fourth movie is how you can't really change what you did in the past.
How about you shut up?
Sonic, the accident
Look,
wasn't your fault. You have to move
I'm
on.
giving this movie a lot of rope.
So basically,
but if they do that,
so what I'm telling is with the human characters around, the fourth movie is basically going to be Sonic CD, but Doctor Who.
you know what's funny? Me and Daniel Barnes coincidentally predicted the fourth movie would be a Metal Sonic Stinger, and it'll be an army of them. Like, like Terminator, and that way they can introduce Silver as the Kyle Reese.
But I think they're probably only going to have Amy Rose and Metal Sonic, because I remember I think it was Jim or someone else on the movie said they originally, one of their original concepts was to have actually both Amy and Shadow introduced in this movie, but they cut Amy because they felt they wouldn't have enough time for both without sidelining one of them.
They also wanted to have Rouge, and they tried, but they cut her.
for obvious reasons.
No, it's not that. It's just that they could. I feel like it.
The problem is
falls
there'd be
into
too
the
many
same
characters,
trap.
and honestly, that's what
Yeah.
my main concern is. I know Sonic fans are like, oh no, they got to introduce Amy, they got to introduce Big, and Creaming, you know, every
Big
single
was
character,
supposed to
but
be in Sonic 2.
Yeah.
Both Big and Rouge.
Yeah.
No, but Big was
Big was
just
supposed to be a
kid,
skeleton.
just a skeleton.
Skeleton,
which was
yeah.
Like, thank
And yeah,
God they
I'm just
did
glad they didn't introduce a lot of characters, because like when you have so many characters and very little time in the story, that could make the movie feel clustered as fuck.
Yeah, overstuffed
This
and
is why
sideline a lot.
This is why I'm also thinking that it might be possible that Shadow might not be in the next movie.
Oh no, I think he'll come back.
Save him
He'll
for
be back
later.
for
He's
the
gonna get a
financial
spin-off.
support. It's Shadow.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I'm trying, because at this point we will have Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, Amy, because at this point I'm assuming the fourth movie will start off
Yeah.
at this scene, and now we have Metal Sonic
Yeah.
or Metal Sonics.
And we'll
Which
still
I'm
have
hoping
the
like Metal Sonic is actually there, like the Metal Sonic, and there's just like a bunch of drones of him, like
and we'll
fake copies.
not
That's
only-
why that's why I'm hoping that we do have a Metal Sonic,
Yeah.
and it's Neo Metal
Yeah.
Sonic.
Yes,
'Cause-
and please let him be
I will
voiced by
not.
Ryan Drummond.
Hold on, go on.
Yeah, not only will
He
have
did a
all
great job
them,
as Metal
but-
Sonic and Sonic Heroes. He really did.
But yeah,
Bro, that was like 20 years ago. You gotta let it go.
but
Suck
yeah, not
fat
only will we
one.
have all of them, but we'll still have human characters like Tom and Maddie, because obviously they're still going to give themselves stuff to do.
Yeah, that's why I was worried about Sonic. Like, this movie could have been a lot worse than we actually got. Because it's like, oh, well, how are we going to integrate Rachel into this? Oh, there it is. That's she's. It's not the
Yeah.
real one. It's just
That's
the
done
costume.
over with.
It's just the
And yeah.
disguise.
And you know
that. How are we going to integrate Wade? Oh, 5-minute camp. Oh, actually, I want to tell you this. A year ago, I made a joke to Gage. It's like, Knuckles hid the Master Emerald in a very reliable place. It's at Wade's place.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, saw that coming.
And yeah, their
The
current
Flames of Disaster.
their current plan is to release the fourth movie in early 2027.
2027, yeah.
I think I know why.
At least it's 3
Yeah.
years. Whoa, wait, no, you said early. Never mind.
Well,
Oh,
spring.
no.
2 years from
Spring
now.
of 2027.
It's
like 2.5
years.
2.25.
And you know why they did this?
Mm-hmm.
Take a wild guess what's coming out in 2026.
Kung Fu Panda 5.
No, no.
No, Avengers.
Avengers, Mario 2.
Hey, I mean, they're being smart. They don't want
Yeah.
competition.
Yeah. Do you realize
That's-
how
Dude,
Yeah.
this movie beat Mufasa in the box office. Thank God.
Wow, what
Yeah.
a bar.
I mean,
What a
dude.
bar. It beat Mufasa. The previous
Well,
one beat
Hey man,
okay.
dude,
What?
the first live
Okay,
action
no,
Lion
no.
King movie made a
What
buttload
was-
of money,
Yeah.
undeservedly so.
Yeah, because it was the live action remake of Disney's most successful movie they ever created.
But it was a live action remake.
Nah,
of a
nah, you
classic.
see,
It doesn't.
It's a live.
It doesn't
action
matter. It
remake.
still has the name.
honestly, if it was an adaptation of Lion King 2, more people would have seen it.
Also,
Yeah, no, that's a bit of a stretch.
Where I was going with that, like, were there any movies out for like during? Were there any movies competing with Sonic 3?
It was just Mufasa,
Mufasa.
and Craven.
Oh wow,
What
gee,
about
what a real
Sonic 1?
competition.
Yeah. Well, Sonic 1, it was Birds of Prey, a Harley Quinn movie, a character popular with little girls, R-rated, and also a follow-up to the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
You know, the movie
Yeah.
people hated, the 2016 one, not the
Yeah.
James
Yeah.
Gunn.
Yeah.
so
And then Sonic.
They're smart. The Sonic team's smart.
Sonic
I mean-
2 came out same month as Morbius. Again, no one
So it's
gave
like-
nobody cared.
You know,
and also,
But it's like
Fantastic
at the
Beasts
same
3.
time, who cares? Because they're playing it smart.
yeah,
You know, you don't give competition. That way, the people who want to go see the movie will see the movie, and they won't see anything else.
Do you
So-
realize how lucky they were that Avatar 3 got delayed to next year? Because that was supposed to come out the same time as Sonic 3. It would have been the
Yeah, but kids
No,
aren't gonna
no,
want to
no,
watch
I-
that.
I'm
Esau?
honestly, I am literally just convinced that Avatar has become a psyop at this point because I have not heard a single fucking soul I legitimately forgot that a second movie came out. Like,
Hey, Terrence, you know what's funny? That's now the highest
What?
grossing movie of all time.
I know, and I refuse to believe it because nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
Dude, for the longest time, it's like the PS5. It was like, who owned this? Is this selling out?
Actually, Tio.
Deji was the Knuckles series. The Knuckles series was this year, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was in March.
April.
Yeah, for the year of
It
Knuckles,
was.
before it became the year of
It
Shadow.
came out during Passover, or
Can I
was
s-
it Easter?
Can I just say I find it amusing that Sonic 3's Japanese title is Sonic X Shadow Tokyo Mission, and Tokyo is
Tokyo
not
Mission.
relevant after like the first act.
Look,
Yeah.
It's trying to get the Japanese audience to care.
Hey,
I still don't want too much shown
I
off in the
will-
movie level, so I'm fine with this.
I will give Sega credit. They are trying. They're actually putting in like 110% effort to get the Japanese populace to care. It's not working, but they're trying, man.
I mean, hey, they got Corona. Also, who's Terrence? Who voices Iris in Pokemon? The Japanese voice actress, Io Yuki.
Iris in
Pokemon.
the gym leader Iris?
Yes.
Yes.
Anyways,
I remember you
to wrap
bringing
this
this
up,
up.
what's your overall thoughts with this movie?
No, because it is relevant to it. She's a huge fan of Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yes.
So she
Iris's
voices
Japanese
Maria.
voice actor is Io Yuki.
Yes. and
Oh yes, she is Maria.
She's also Six the Badger as well, but she voices. I think Shadow is voiced by Sephiroth in this one.
Yes, he is. In the
I think
Japanese,
I remember hearing that. Yes.
in the Japanese dub, Shadow's voice is Sephiroth, which I don't know why they changed the voice, but I guess they wanted.
All the movie voice actors are completely different. I think.
Oh,
it's
they
just-
are
Yeah, all of them.
Even Tails.
interesting. I guess the Japanese dub is just copying us then.
Let's say I did like the credits and animation in this one.
Yeah, Sonic Fighters.
absolutely.
That-
The Sonic Jam Shadow.
That song is that plays over it is the song from the movie that's been stuck in my head ever since I watched it. I like that song.
I barely remember it.
What song is this?
The animations I was paying attention more to were like the more like game stuff, like when Maddie was describing the Chaos Emerald. You just see Sonic Mania UI.
Yeah,
all
it was
over.
run it by Jelly Roll. Yeah,
I don't remember. The country song.
what says about me as a casual Sonic fan? That's the song I remember above any of the actual Sonic music.
Apparently, one KO Rock did a song for this. I didn't hear it. I don't remember where it was.
Yeah, I didn't hear that either.
Yeah. It's like, oh, it's in the English version. Like, okay, I don't, because no one's talking. Everyone's talking about is they played Live and Learn. That's it. I think that speaks some volumes about this movie's score.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah, exactly.
for the most part, when has a movie's soundtrack been within the last decade? When has a movie's soundtrack been fucking memorable? Like it's all just
Yeah, I
Mario
was gonna
movie.
say Mario, Creed.
Yeah.
Crap.
Mario's already based off the fucking video games whenever that was in it.
Creed. They're okay. So yes, a problem with a lot of modern movies is that music isn't memorable. But
I
there
want to say
are
the last
I know
the
some
last
people
modern
like
movie-
Oppenheimer's.
the last modern movie that I think actually had a good theme song to it was Pacific Rim, and that was over a decade ago. I think I remember Wonder Woman's theme from the DC movies.
Yeah, that's because that's Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, he's also been in the industry for over 20 years at this point. So, I really can't remember anything if it's not already based off of an established piece.
I can't think of it on the spot, but I know there have been Some.
Like Titanic, Pirates of the Caribbean, Austin Powers, like all that. There's at least some track from that movie that you can say like, oh yeah, that song's great.
This is the negative about the MCU's effect on Hollywood.
Oh, the MCU destroyed Hollywood. The MCU literally destroyed Hollywood.
But not for the reasons you think.
For
Because
multiple reasons.
Music in movies, a score isn't memorable, and if anyone tells me, "Oh, who remembers a movie score?" I'm like, "Hey, you remember the Star Wars theme or Indiana Jones? Yeah, go back to that."
Yeah, I
Hey,
love
screw
that.
you. I remember Cars score.
Yeah, Life is a Highway.
No, I remember more parts of it.
Yeah.
Joe, this whole music track is just "Life is a Highway" 60 times. Yeah, I know. You did a good thing.
So Sonic 3. How?
I actually do want. I
Any
actually do
final
want to,
stuff we didn't talk
before
about
we get into
before.
our scores. I just need to say,
Sure.
when Keanu locks in a shadow, he's good, but when he's doing the sad emotional scenes, it's rough.
Because he only
I
has
did
one
notice
acting
that.
tone, and we all love him and
Right, I
respect
have
him
to say
for it.
there's nothing really much Shadow as a character can give in terms of a different.
Was this
voice
the
tone.
first role I've seen Keanu Reeves in?
Wait,
You've never seen
Esau,
John
Esau.
Wick?
Wait, Esau, have you seen Toy?
What?
Wait, Esau, you saw Toy Story 4, right?
No.
Well,
Good.
good job. You didn't.
It's-
You
it's-
did
it's
yourself
not-
a fucking
it's
favor.
not a good movie, but-
I couldn't finish that. I could not.
I'm
Finish
glad
that
you
movie
know
in
me
an
though. I'm
airplane
glad you
ride.
know me.
I watched like 10 minutes of it and then I turned that off. But anyways, yeah, overall movie, I give it a 7 out of 10. It's a good movie, but it could have been better. But I give it a 7 out of 10. Keanu Reeves did a good job. The voice cast did a great job. The actors did a good job.
I need to see it again, but as of now, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Objectively, like the best, because I think this is an 8 out of 10. I think the second movie, 8.76. This is an 8. Second movie is a 7. First movie is a 6. And maybe if I rewatch the movie again and I look at different scenes, I'll either like it more or slightly dislike it. But I think they did a fantastic job with this movie, with the reception, with everything. My only complaint is going forward, like we are almost there. Just please, for the love of God, just put more game music in. When it works. But we need more. We just need more. Please, fuck you, Junkie. Get fired.
All right, next person. Esau.
I don't know about scoring because like it I went into this knowing that this was going to be different from SA2's story, so I was pretty much like bracing myself, and a lot of what I said maybe a little bit more than nitpicks. Like I was waiting for space to play a bigger role and whatnot, but it's like I guess I've also like changed to be the kind of person was to where like I can respect the whole like the audience that doesn't know what they want, let them do what they want, and then draw your conclusion. Like, there were moments to this movie where it's just like, okay, I have no more words, I love this. And I think that began when they're on the moon and Shadow repeated Maria's words or something like, the light still shines through even if the stars no longer do. And at that point, I realized what that meant. I still love the climax, I still love the ending. Is still like the best of the Sonic movies for me, and absolutely looking forward to whatever is in the future. I'll just say 9 out of 10 and leave it at that.
Not bad. Okay, Proton.
How's it gauge?
Yeah, it's a really good movie. As I said at the beginning, it's my favorite of the three. I felt it had a lot of good action, a lot of good jokes, and as much as I like Jabber can pick stuff out, that's like not enough to like get me to not like it or not enjoy it. I'm not that petty. Has a lot of good emotional moments. Like again, I literally liked a lot of the stuff with Shadow and Sonic's worry over Tom. I think it's a really solid movie. Score, I usually don't give too much stock into scoring stuff now, but if I had to, I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. And the other two movies to me would probably be an 8.
Okay. Cool. All right. Take it away, Desert.
Wait, did Terrence go?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want.
Yeah,
Terrence,
so
your score was an 8.
He said Junkie get fired.
Yeah, I said fuck you, Junkie.
Oh yeah. So you gave it an 8, right? I'm just writing down.
Yeah,
Yeah, he literally went after me. I went first, he went second.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say an 8 out of 10. You know, I want to go see it again, and I probably will within the next few days with my friend. And I'm probably thinking this movie's gonna stay an 8 for me, because there really is, like, nitpicking aside, there really is nothing that I can, like, complain about this movie. It did almost everything right. It's just the nitpicks, and then the nitpicks kind of pile up, and it's like, maybe, but no, I would say it's an 8 out of 10. They did good, so they deserve this win.
All right. It was a gigantic step down quality. I really enjoyed the second movie, and I hate.
Yeah, I know.
everything
You're
about
making
this.
a Venom.
So
3
anyway,
reference.
about
You can't-
now that we're done about Venom
Yeah.
3,
Ah!
yeah, this was easily the best of the 3, but again, it still has its problems with what they've done with the movie universe that hold it back from being a great movie. I don't agree that this, from the very start, this felt like a Dragon Ball Z film. I feel like that only really applies to the climax, and the climax had
Yeah,
really
it's
good
just a-
highs, even though some of the Robotnik moments kind of hurt it. But sorry, were you gonna say something, Terrence?
No, I was saying, I was agreeing with you where only the third act is when it gets into Dragon Ball territory. The rest is just Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah, but overall, it's I give it a 7 out of 10. 2 7s, 2 9s, 1 8.
I mean, I would probably say as of now, this is my favorite video game movie, hands down. Not really a high bar,
Right.
but this is objectively my favorite video game movie now, 100%. It's way better than the first two movies. While Mario 3 is a more colorful and probably visually beautiful movie, this movie's definitely better. And
Sonic 3 definitely feels like the culmination of what was before it.
Damn, we gave this a 40 out of 100.
A 40 out
No,
of 100?
wait,
do you want to check
41.
No, we gave it 40 points. I'm like, out of 5.
41 out of 50.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Yeah,
so
you said
I am
100.
tired, okay? It's been a long day.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
been a long 2 days for me.
Okay, okay. We got an 80. So congratulations, you passed.
Hey, 80s are good. B's get degrees.
So does he.
How's that going for you?
Wow.
Pretty well.
Yeah, that's good.
Jeez.
Well, the show's
Okay. Yeah.
show's over. Go home.
Yeah.
All right,
That was our discussion. It lasted longer than the movie itself.
Yes,
Yeah.
it did.
Y'all
and
have a good
we'll
night.
see you whenever we do an LP. We promise.
We'll do it in the next 5 years. I promise.
We still do LPs.
See you in Rayman 4.
You know, it's funny because we actually did record Rayman 1.
Oh, God.
Goodbye.
Adios.
Right. Hey everybody, this is just a bonus feature. Friend John wanted to be part of this, but because he only had his phone at the time that we recorded, he did his own separate audio. So enjoy. Bye.
Okay, so here are my thoughts on Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Sonic 3 takes place not too long after the previous film, but this time around, Sonic and friends face their biggest threat yet, as Shadow the Hedgehog, who wakes up from stasis after 50 years, and along with Professor Gerald Robotnik begin their revenge against mankind for what they did to Shadow's friend and Gerald's niece, Maria Robotnik. Now, what did I like about this movie? Oh man, there are a lot of things in this movie that I loved. First off is fitting of an adaptation of Sonic Adventure 2, the film is noticeably a lot darker in tone than the previous two, but I think that the more serious tone fits this film, as Jeff Fowler did say that he wanted these movies to grow up with their audience, and you see it here as there's significantly less of the juvenile humor that was prevalent in the previous two films. Another thing I liked is just how much Sonic has truly grown as a character since the first film. You really see it in his brotherly relationship with Tails and Knuckles, and you get to see more of his compassionate side in this movie as well. I really do think that much like Tom Holland's Spider-Man in the MCU movies, the three films really helped him become more fully realized by the end of the first leg of this journey of his. Now, when Shadow was revealed at the post-credits scene of the last film, one worry I had is that he would overshadow Tails and Knuckles, and that they wouldn't get too much to do in this movie. But thankfully, my fears were put to rest. Tails and Knuckles do play a big role in this film, from Tails' intelligence and strategic planning, and another thing I was pleased to see is that while Knuckles does provide a lot of laughs in this film, the film's actually to make him comedic without making him stupid, which some other parts of the franchise could learn from. And speaking of Shadow, man, oh man, does Keanu Reeves shine in this role. Seriously, that DLC that you saw in Shadow Generations, that does not hold a candle to his performance in this film here. He perfectly gets down all of Shadow's mannerisms that fans love him for, from his anger, emotion, and even dry humor. And then there are the Robotniks. Jim Carrey pulls double duty here as both Eggman and Gerald Robotnik. Carrey pulls off yet another funny and memorable performance as the Doctor, but this time around there's some emotional nuance to Eggman. And even though Gerald is portrayed more comically than he is in the game, it certainly doesn't make him any less sinister, especially towards the end. I can't say much without spoiling the film, but what I can say is that this is just as much Eggman's movie as it is Shadow, and what they did with his arc in this is nothing short of beautiful. One gripe that fans have had with these films is that we don't hear much of the songs from the games. This became even more egregious when the Super Mario Brothers movie came out and had the iconic music from that franchise playing left and right. Well, I'm pleased to say that once again Paramount has listened to the fans. There are a lot more of the amazing music from the Sonic franchise playing in this film, such as Eggman's theme from Sonic 06, and there's even some moments in the film where brief snippets from Escape from the City and Eggman's theme from Sonic Adventure 2 play. And yes, Live and Learn is in the movie, and let me tell you, the theater I was in erupted with cheering when it happened. The action scenes were easily the best this franchise has ever done. From seeing Shadow doing the Akira bike slide up the Tokyo Tower to the fight in the third act. Now let's talk about the negatives. The film's biggest flaw for me was how Kristen Ritter was wasted. Ritter's character shows up when Team Sonic are in Tokyo and sets up a plot point of the military not being trusting of Sonic, similar to what happened in Sonic Adventure 2. Then she pretty much disappears from the movie up until the end of the film's second act. Seriously, how do you get a big name like Kristen Ritter and not have much for her to do? The next one is more of a nitpick, but some of the Robotnik's comedic antics in this movie didn't do it for me. Not all, but some, such as that dance scene in the middle of the film. I know it's a part of Jim Carrey's brand, but I don't know, maybe I can just chalk it up to me getting old. But overall, Sonic 3 isn't just the best Sonic movie, but I'll go as far to say is that it is the best video game movie ever made. I'm serious. To think that it all started with fans and general audiences banding together more than 5 years ago to cyberbully Paramount into changing Sonic's then hideous design, which led to the renaissance that the blue blur is having now. And those post-credits, oh man, stay for those post-credits scene because they really, really, really have me excited for the future. Sonic 3 gets an 8.5 out of 10 from me.